Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast.
We are live. This is episode 33 of the Simpsons Index. And hello, I am your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. And I'm not in the dank, I'm in somewhere else this week.
You guys got a name for your house?
The hot box?
Yeah, it's true tonight.
Yep.
Right now it is.
We are coming at you live out of the hot box this evening, out in Normanhurst, where earlier today a truck crashed with a bunch of milk bottles on it.
Did it?
Yeah.
That would have
Like
smelled terrible.
9,000 litres of milk or something.
Yeah.
Just ended up
Curdled
on
milk.
Pennant Hills Road in
Cats
Normanhurst.
everywhere just licking it up.
Anyway, I am your host, Elliot J. O'Neill, and joining me in the hot box tonight is...
Thrilled. Dave.
Liz.
And, finally...
Courtesy Bear. The Courtesy Bear.
Everybody get your 2x4s. All right. And this is the podcast where we review 3 episodes of The Simpsons at a time. The catch is they all come from a different decade. And we just watched season 29, episode 19, The Squirt and the Whale. AKA, this is the one where, upon a whale getting beached on the beach in Springfield, Lisa tries to organize a campaign for a whale that has beached itself to get it unbeached. And not too much success. Anyway, guys, what'd you think?
I kind of enjoyed it. I actually had a couple of laughs out of this. It was nice. Nice change.
Yeah.
It was passable.
It passed muster?
It passed the mustard, indeed.
Sounds like you're keen. What'd you think? Yeah, there's a thinker.
Yeah, I had a few chuckles, but what?
Yeah, that's
What?
fair. That's very fair.
Well, I normally wait till the end to talk about the heart, but they really did go for the heart in this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
they schmaltzed it.
Yeah.
Schmaltzed it big time.
Is schmaltz good?
Oh, schmaltz. Schmaltz is all the heart. Schmaltz is like if you combine Valentine's Day with an anniversary with a Hallmark ad.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but schmaltzing is when you're schwitzing hard.
Well, I think if one were to schmaltz enough, they could schwitz.
I see.
Oy vey. So anyway, might edit this out. Don't normally like to talk about the couch gags, but again, this was another laboured, long couch gag where the couch is running away from the Simpsons in a newspaper.
It did persist.
It wasn't overly long, though. Like, they got a couple
Yeah.
of quick shots, and then that was it.
It wasn't like modern day Lord of the Rings 2.5 minute
No.
parodies.
Extended cut.
Yeah.
It was a bit longer. I wouldn't say it outstayed its welcome.
But
But that's me.
the true opening of this episode happened with the XVO movie ad, which I just loved because, like,
Yes.
We're so close to there.
yeah.
Yeah.
The whole battleship thing, and now
Yep.
Tetris is going to be like a quadrilogy, and
Wait, what?
yeah, the Tetris movie is going to be like 4 movies.
I swear that's just it's something they'll keep in rumor forever.
I thought they bought the rights to that simply for the fact that they didn't want it to become a movie.
That's what I heard as well, but who knows? We are getting an emoji movie, so who knows?
With Patrick Stewart as
Dear
Poop.
God.
Yeah, I bet he's thrilled.
Yeah.
What?
What, you didn't hear this?
No.
There's an emoji movie. There's a poop emoji, and it'll be voiced by Patrick Stewart.
That is amazing.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Brings whole new meaning to Take the Bridge, number 2.
Poop Trick Stewart.
But yeah, so everything I loved about the tic-tac-toe, I normally hate the no gag, but this was a great one. Tic-tac-no.
Yeah, because it's meant to be
Yeah.
incredibly cheesy and lame. It's just,
Yeah.
it works. I do quite like
With
that.
Romeo and Julie X.
Yes. Oh, I was just going to say, I thought it was quite like Futurama-esque.
It was.
Yeah.
I found that probably the best part of the episode, dare I say.
I would concur.
Yeah.
And yeah, it feels prophetic. I'm pretty sure this is going to happen not too distant future.
The tic-tac-toe movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, I felt like the Tic-Tac-Toe movie trailer kind of set the scene for the whole show, at least the feeling anyway, where it was just cheesy and terrible, but I liked it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Naturally. So watching the Tic-Tac-Toe trailer, tic-tac-toe trailer. That's kind of hard to say. Homer yanks out the power goes down on the TV. Homer's pulled out the cable. He's mad about the energy bill running around. This naturally leads us to an energy expo.
Yeah. I liked all the booth gags though as well. Like,
Yeah.
normally, like the conventions thing, like has been an easy place for Simpsons to make
Yes.
random jokes that don't make sense. And even though, like, it pretty much felt like every jokester got their own booth there. Ralph with his kid power and
Barney's burp power.
Yeah.
I liked it.
yeah. No, I thought they did well.
They've gone to a lot of conventions now. I think about it. Candy
I
convention,
actually- yes.
expensive electronics expo.
Yeah.
This is the second power convention, though?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the one
that's
time where Homer
true.
went with Mindy.
Yeah. I have to say it was quite comforting. It's like a comforting Simpsons
Yeah.
kind of go-to. I don't know why, but I was like, oh, a convention
Yeah.
kind of makes
sure.
me feel safe in the Simpsons world.
And it is a great place for good sign gags, good background gags that
Yes.
don't draw too much attention to itself.
Yeah.
I thought they hovered on the like corn versus the biodiesel guy too long.
A shade.
A bit, but it was all in good fun.
Though, mind you, it's like I do find at the conventions they always fit in one really brutal joke.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, at the previous one, it's like, go to hell, jerks, and Homer throws a brick and like hits him in the back of the head, and there's like an
Thanks for
audible yelp.
poisoning the planet.
Yeah. They've also got like the crash test dummy one where
It's like, that dummy's moving. This
Yeah.
exhibit is closed.
Exactly, yeah. As with like they crashed a car with it. And in this one, it wasn't exactly like brutal like that. It wasn't physically brutal, but like Homer just cuts that guy in the sunsuit down. It's just like,
yeah.
what did he say?
How
It
about
was
trying solar power? How about getting a real job?
To be fair, he was wearing a giant sun costume and not making his mother proud.
How do you know? Maybe she loves the sun.
Yeah, he's got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Got to drink.
Yeah. There was, I didn't catch the end of it, or I can't remember what it was, but there's a bit where it's gas, grass, or ass.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember, but it was like the virtues of various types of fuel. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was the 3 types of fuel that correlates with that. And there was another one where Burns was protesting and like basically saying, these guys are making it hard for the planet polluters, and
Yeah.
which was a good little side gag that didn't draw too much attention to itself.
Yes.
But so anyway, they get...
A wind turbine from this?
yeah.
Sold by some dodgy Danes.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't really care much for the banter between the Dane and Homer, and he's already got to Twine, and...
Yeah, it felt like a reference I wasn't getting. I know it wasn't. It was just like, oh, those Danish, you know them. Like, I don't.
Them and their
actually.
twine.
They love twine.
Well, now I
Jeez.
know 2 things about Danes: twine and wooden shoes. Yeah. So yeah, then they get a wind generator, a wind turbine.
Turbine?
Yeah. That they hook up to their house and do a musical
Yeah.
montage over Danger, Danger, High Voltage
I
by...
did note Danger, Danger, High Voltage.
Yeah,
That was
by
good.
Electric Six,
Yes.
featuring Jack White.
Yeah, because they've gone off grid, and so their power is now completely dependent on when the wind's blowing, so it's all cutting in and out humorously.
Yeah.
It's a nice little montage.
Yeah, I didn't like how they got there by them realizing the wind was generating more electricity, causing them to be in surplus to the point that they were actually giving something to the power.
Giving power back. Which
Anyway.
is, how you make money. And then Homer's like,
Yeah.
no, unplug it. We don't want to do that. And it's like, someone could have stopped that, but all right.
Yeah.
I like how Lenny was working for the wind place as well.
Yeah. That
Well,
was
yeah, I didn't realize like that was Lenny's job now. Like, wasn't he
Answering phones at the nuclear power plant.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I
like,
think things are... he's working at the nuclear
Because the
plant.
nuclear plant cuts the
yeah,
power.
he's working at the nuclear
okay.
power plant. But I mean, like now he's answering phones. But isn't he like when the Germans take over? Isn't he like I'm the only one that can do this?
Mm.
So have
To
they
be fair,
moved
I've
him
never
from
been
that?
sure what Lenny does. So,
Yeah.
Doesn't he have like a nuclear engineering degree? We do know that.
yeah, no, we know that.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone's got one except Homer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He just
exactly.
showed up when the plant opened.
But yeah, so the power cutting out intermittent. Is that the Danger High Voltage montage?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The jumping castle, and it's also got the bit where Homer with the circular saw Sawing a bit
Yeah.
of wood, keeps falling asleep on the wood.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, and like the cut to the blender was good, but I thought they just dug into his skull.
They
just-
Yeah,
did.
they should have stopped
3
right
frames
before the skull rather than getting a couple of frames into his skull. That's very different.
Before they
Yes.
cut to Marge's raspberry blender smoothie thing.
I get it. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like part of me, whenever I see The Simpsons, like I know that they've got like a taste of, well, again, brutality
Yeah.
to them, and you could go through and you can make an excellent cut scene montage of all the times like someone's getting hit, or they're pulling out knives or chainsaws, or there's blood, or
Yep.
anyone, please listen, cut that, make that
Dave
a
wants
thing.
his violent Simpsons montage.
Make that a thing. I will sit there in the wee hours of the morning just watching that. Liz will come out. It's like, Dave, are you fine? And I won't answer. I just sit there staring at the TV, turn around, look at her, and look back at the TV and enjoy my violence.
Well, Dave liked it at least.
Yeah, yeah. But also, I kind of liked how Homer just falls asleep.
Yeah,
Like,
the
if
lights
something
go
just-
off and he's like, okay.
Yeah, and then like
Must be nap time.
His like the trying to get out, and the garage door is opening and closing, and like
Yeah.
he just gets caught in the garage door, and it raises him up. And he's like, "Yeah, well, I can't do nothing now. I'm just gonna sleep."
Gonna sleep. Just
Yeah,
gonna,
it's like
that's
something
right.
just
Wait
gets
it
too
out.
tough. Go to
Yeah.
sleep. Too tough. Go to sleep.
yeah. It actually reminds me of that bit where they're what is it, fleeing from Florida and they get stuck on the front of the train. He's like, well, the only thing you can do, lie down and try and get some sleep.
Yeah, and they're still in the car and everything. Yeah. But yeah, and then so Bart's like propelling the wind while Lisa's watching House or something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he prays to God, and God grants him his wish again. There's something. Bart's in tune with the spiritual world, man.
It's true. God has come through for him a few times.
Yeah.
I don't know if this-
has.
I don't know if
Caused
this
the
counts.
Snow day
Yep.
Yeah,
allowed him to
that's
get a bunch of
true.
people pregnant via voodoo.
That was
What?
voodoo,
Yeah.
not God.
As if they're different.
He gets his soul back as well. That's another one where he prays to God and
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lisa just
so
already
bad.
has it.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
mind
sorry,
you,
but-
it's like you start to wonder. It's like, again, like if Bart's soul is always being intended to be that of the devil, could it just be that he is like summoning demons? Because I mean, like he's like, hey, give me some wind, and then it's like, all right, too much wind.
Yes.
It's the guy with the ironic wishes.
Damn you,
yeah.
monkey paw!
Yeah, God is just a giant monkey's paw.
Everybody gets 3.
Yeah, there were some decent gags around the wind and the wind damage and stuff. And
Yeah, I do like they're riding through the damage and it's the wind chime storm.
Yes,
It's just,
I
make
did.
it
I
stop!
love that
Make
guy
it stop!
crushed by the branch.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Bart and Lisa stumble upon a beached whale, and naturally Lisa just loses her shit and it's like, oh my god, this poor thing. And I like how Bart's first reaction is to like skate on it and jump in the blowhole, and feels like a callback to the Australia joke when he gets ejected covered in mucus as well. But
Yeah.
I like how he
Not,
didn't
not
say
as good
anything.
as it's not like in cartoons. Yeah, there's a lot more
Yeah.
mucus.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like the friendship between Lisa and the whale was pretty flimsy. Like
Yeah?
even with Stampy, like Stampy's a character. But the whale was just, I mean, I know the whale was beached, but there was no character to the
Yeah.
whale.
I agree, because she's like sitting there with the light shining on its eye, and you're like, maybe you should shut that light off, Lisa. Probably doesn't want. But no, I have to read it poetry. It's like, Lisa, it's a fucking whale.
Yeah.
It does not know poetry.
Yeah.
Clearly appreciated it.
Was it, or was it just slowly suffocating?
I think
Like, imagine you're lying there, dying, and
Good
someone's
point.
like, would you like me to read you some gibberish? Bloogity blah from blah blah. Blue flibble boom.
That's
That's
very comforting. As actually, I'm dying from this Australian heat right now.
Yes.
Well, I know what to
Understand
do
that.
on your deathbed now.
Anyway, come back into Act 2. I didn't like any of the stuff with the bullies.
I can't even remember it. So.
where she's like, hey, it's like a sensitive creature. Nerd.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
At least help it, and then they're sort of kicking water on it, and then there's a bit with Kearney just bullying Millhouse. We want to know what it's like to be wailed on.
Ah, yeah.
Do you want me to
Yeah.
knock it off?
Yeah.
Gentle nodding.
I think that might have been just time filler.
It
It
really
did
was.
feel like time filler.
But I like how after Lisa tells Marge and Homer that Marge pulls Homer aside and goes, hey, these whaling, beaching things, they don't work out so good. And, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I also hated Homer's tool belt.
I thought
when
that
he-
was funny.
Really?
I actually
he
liked
tries to put it on and it slides down. He's kind of
Yeah.
just waddling with it around his knees. It's kind of cute.
I don't know, that
Kinda
line
funny.
of, who did they make this belt for? It was just like...
That was a bit much. It would have been just better just to have him try to put it on, it slips down, and then that would be fun. Keep it as like a visual. But
Yeah.
But it was like the Star Trek. Don't they know what the average Star Trek
Yeah.
goes like?
has no use for a
Ben?
medium-sized belt.
How did they know that the whale's name was Bluella?
No,
When did
No,
Lisa-
Lisa made it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
she-
Lisa made it up, but then Mayor Quimby knows that it's named Bluella.
Yeah, maybe
How
Lisa
Well,
was just
she did
yelling at
kind
people.
of. She did kind of rally the town, and got Homer to rally all the strong people together, who got all the smart people together, to then have a game of
The
head
tug of war.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I guess.
I thought that was
So
kind of fun.
yeah, presumably she spread that around. By the way, I've called it Bluella.
Yeah.
My attachment is more important than yours.
Yeah.
And I like the animation visual of the boats all together
Yeah.
tugging at the whale's tail,
And they all rip in half.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then Homer's nonchalant whistling into the megaphone.
Okay, I do enjoy that.
Yeah.
Nonchalant whistling. Nothing suspect at
Yeah.
all if someone's whistling nonchalantly.
Yeah. Well, it's like what I was thinking is like, how they got all the strongest men in Springfield together, and then you're like, okay, that kind of makes sense. I can
Yeah.
see like at least two muscle guys there, and Barney, he can be pretty strong when he's drunk and everything. And then like you see all the smartest men of Springfield, and you see like, well, I only really identified Hibbert there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank was at the back.
And then like you're thinking, well, wouldn't it make sense just to pull it out to ocean? Like, where's the sea captain? And then you
then-
see the sea captain with Homer. It was like, yeah. It's like he was neither the strongest nor the smartest, but he had a boat.
Yep.
I chalk Sea Captain up to just being incompetent anyway. Just coming back to, I don't know what I'm doing. He's already set that up.
Or two glass eyes. Clink, clink. Not a looker among them.
What do you guys think of the Lisa dream sequence?
Glad it was a dream sequence because for a while they're like, is this how it's going to conclude? Because the whale just is free and yay, happy. And you're like, I'm
Yeah.
sure this is not where we're
I
ending.
saw it a
Too
mile
happy.
away.
Yeah.
The
So this
whale-
is jumping ahead, but
yeah.
you guys haven't seen this episode before?
No.
Nope.
Pretty sure I've seen it once.
Yeah, so did you guys see the twist coming?
Nah.
Yeah, pretty much.
You didn't?
No, we did.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they don't telegraph something like these things don't usually end well without going, this is
Yeah,
where this
I
is
agree.
going. Nudge.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
if anything goes too well, like,
Yeah.
like, oh, look, there's like the army, and they're like airlifting this whale out with two Chinooks, and they've got like specially printed T-shirts, and like the whole family's there, and it's
I have to say, okay, this is
True.
going to sound really heartless of me, but even when the whale was tugged out with like the special dream helicopters or whatever, I
Yeah.
didn't care.
Really?
I didn't care because there was no whale character development. There was no Stampy kind of character. It's like, yeah, okay, all right, well, yay. I know this is a dream, but
to
I
give
just
it-
don't care.
To give it a more contemporary comparison, there's that episode of Bob's Burgers where they have Melissa, and Bob has like a hallucination dream where he talks to the cow. And you're fully aware it's a dream,
Yes.
but it gives the cow a degree of character in a very odd way.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't totally agree because I'm just too much of a whale-loving hippie. But,
What
yeah,
have whales ever done for you?
But yeah, you're right in the sense that they did use a lot of time with stupid non sequiturs and the bullies and the couch gag and stuff, and it could have been time spent on building the whale up, or even introducing her in the start, and
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, she's the whale that keeps appearing in Springfield's port, and we
Yeah.
love her or
Yeah.
something.
That's fine. That would have been
I
something.
think they might have just been banking too much on the fact that it was a whale.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
like
the pro-
everyone loves whales. It's a beach whale. Everyone will feel sad.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is what I'm going to call the child in danger trope. When you're watching a movie and all of a sudden, oh no, a child is in danger. We've just upped the stakes. Like, no, you haven't. You're not going to kill a kid in this movie. I know you're not going
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
You've
Or
just
they-
made
or
this
they-
boring.
Or they put the dog in danger.
Yeah, and like,
yeah.
not that you're like, I know you're not going to kill a dog for God's sakes.
Oh
Yeah.
no, the dog's
So-
going to get hit with lava. Oh, it made
Oh,
it out away.
it's safe. You're happy now. It's like, no, I know you're just trying to play me for a chump, you bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, then look at his little face. And it's the same thing. This isn't a whale. It's a character in a show. So it's essentially as important as a couch. It's nothing. It's not a whale in the real sense of the term.
You monster.
You really want to make things interesting.
So it was all a dream. The whale died and I cried.
I kind of like that they killed the whale, though. I mean,
it was a brave move.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, brave move, but also like it lended depth to the whole thing. And then, like, you see, I think very next frame after they pull away from the whale being dead on the beach it's Lisa and Homer in Lisa's room. And it's all sort of like dark, and it's just like one lamp on.
So yeah, the town blow up the whale, and I'm pretty sure they're referencing the time a town blew up a beach
whale,
whale.
and it rained meaty chunks.
It did exactly what the episode said. Like,
Yeah.
And yeah, the hilarious part of it all, like, I mean, it's morbid, but it's hilarious, is that, yeah, the whale blubber was so goddamn flammable that it's just, it's equivalent of a volcano
They
erupting.
used to build lamps out of this fucking stuff.
Yeah.
Did no one think of their whale history before blowing it up?
But I like how their next idea was to, use every part of the animal. And the people who went for genuine whalebone corsets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You laughed a lot at the comic book guy joke there, Dave.
Yeah, that's...
Dave just loves Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek. Sorry, Star Trek.
Both.
Whoa. Yeah, well, there.
Both. So no offense or anger given, taken, / whatever. Either way, comic book guy cutting through all the different, like...
Captain
Kirk's, like, progression.
As his corset is giving way.
What was the last one?
Boston Legal. Sorry, Bill, but yeah.
He knows. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be proud. Be proud, Bill.
You can't say anything to hurt William Shatner. He's fine. He knows what he is.
Man is bulletproof.
Yeah. Man sang Common People, and he's just like, yeah, that's a fucking amazing version.
Damn straight.
You're totally right there, Bill Shatner.
Wholeheartedly agree.
And then they do the everything reminds Lisa of Blue Weller cliche with the
the squeaky door and
Yeah.
Martin getting wedgied and making a sound. And
love the balloon animal guy though.
when he makes the violin, that's good.
But especially because the whale exploded. Like it was just.
Yeah.
I wonder if you
being
can
a-
actually do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, blow it up just enough so that you know that when you hand it to them, they're going to squeeze it just enough pressure.
Yeah, Elliot, you used to do that. Is there a technique to making sure it's instantly destroyed?
It's gonna sound balloon racist of me, but black ones. Like anytime I got a multi-pack of balloons, I'd always throw away the black ones.
Because they just pop way
They were
easier?
guaranteed to pop.
Wonder why that is. Scientists find out. Maybe something
Like,
about
maybe-
light or
like-
heat.
And it's a blanket statement from 10 years ago. Times were different then, and maybe Qualitex, have upped their quality of their latex. Oh, I get where that name comes from now. So, getting into the last parts of the episode, anyone want to bring anything up here? Oh, so like the Lisa spots Bluella's kids in the
She's
ocean.
all standing on the dock being all sad. And it's like, oh, look, her kids. Oh, no, there's a bunch of sharks going for it.
I'm going to say awesome kill shot by Homer on that bird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Dad, don't shoot the shark.
No one cares about seagulls.
No.
And the sharks think you're a baby whale. Ooh, a baby whale.
That was a great visual because,
that was
like,
actually pretty funny.
yeah, I've seen that in like surf life-saving pamphlets.
Where it's like, look how you look like a struggling turtle.
Yeah. And then, ramps up the tension by having him bleed. How did he bleed again?
They threw a bucket to him.
To try and smack a shark in the face, and he gets hit in the head. He's like, oh, I'm sure the blood will scare the sharks away. Oh, that's the opposite of reality. Wow.
And then Deus Ex Whale Dad
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
comes to save the day.
It's like, where were you when your wife was beached, you son of a bitch?
Yeah, right.
I thought it was, I don't know, I thought it was aiming for a daddy-daughter episode, but it didn't quite get there. It was kind of like missed the point.
Well, yeah, Homer did have a bit of failed consoling earlier in the episode, and
But to his credit, he tried.
he tried.
You know,
and
you're
then
not
he-
always going to get it right, but it's
And then
the
he did
attempt.
come back as well. I mean, like, Lisa was like, oh, shit, the sharks are going to get, like, my little whale baby friends. And
Yeah.
then he, like, rocks up and was like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to let nature do her fucking thing. So
the intent was there, but yeah, the execution probably was a little light.
That's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's an important lesson in life that people will try. They're just not always going to get it right. But if they try, at least that's something.
That's true.
Like in podcasting.
Vote for us on the Castaways. And yeah, Homer has some rant about the whale will now go marry a female octopus and then have kids and get a new house because the old one print too much memories. But it was so random and like, what the fuck is going on? But then Marge brought it back with the line of, let's stay home tonight and draw pictures of what your dad just said.
Yeah.
Which was so odd, I actually liked it.
Yeah, I have to say that was a bit enjoyable towards
like,
the end.
Yeah, it's like, that's so dumb, but
Yeah.
good for you.
But then, I mean, like, at the same time, they had that very sort of, like, slow pull away as you have, like, the daddy whale and the baby whales, like, splashing around in the ocean, and you got the whole family standing there looking off into the sunset, and, like, Homer puts his, like, hand around, like, Lisa's sort of shoulders, and she rests her head against him, and they're playing that, what was this, like a French song?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a bad choice because that just always reminds me of Bioshock.
Yeah.
Sound like splicers.
And then, you know, they keep that song going through when they're showing, like, the drawings of like the whales and the octopus.
So you're saying it goes from like the sentimental moment of the music to the wacky moment of the drawings with the same music.
Well, true, but I mean, like, it's supposed to be like wacky cute. So they're going for that sort of extra heart. So like they're playing the song and they got like the drawings and it's all like cartoon and kid looking, and like they're trying to lay on that extra heart that they kind of maybe feel like they missed out on. So they're trying extra hard in the like the last quarter.
Sure.
Just, you know, we're down by like 3 points. Quick, throw in some extra heart. You know, it's
We got a hot quarter to hit here, damn it.
yeah,
Stay here all night if we have to.
Oh, I thought it was a cute ending.
yeah.
All right, I think it's time for the questionnaire. So, storyline-wise, it was just nay throughout. Ultimately, did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Oh. No. I have to say no.
Not for you?
No,
Dave?
not really.
I'm going to say, yeah, it felt like an episode of The Simpsons. Not a good one, but it felt like an episode.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes as well because no one's acting out of character.
Yeah.
Like nothing's so far out of the ordinary that you're like, Simpsons wouldn't do this. What the fuck is this?
No, that's true. All the characters are pretty on point. Yeah, you're turning me around on the whole story thing because they could have spent a lot more time building up the emotion of it, which is what they were clearly going for. Because
Yeah, it just didn't land.
I just think, I don't know, from my favorite thing about The Simpsons is that craziness happens, but it's wrapped in a package of family. And that's what the common theme of most episodes is crazy shit happens, but ultimately they're a family, they love each other. This just seemed like a bunch of random crazy shit that they just ticked off, or I don't know, there wasn't really a flow, there wasn't really a...
Yeah, it's like, hey, we need energy. Hey, we got a wind thingy. Hey, we're off the grid. Hey, there's a whale. Hey, it exploded.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Hey, now we're drawing.
Yeah, I felt like that was a bit disjointed, a bit kind of... What?
this might be one where I just need to like show you where it gets worse because this one was actually quite a breath of fresh air for me.
Okay.
It does have a consistent through line. At least there's a logical progression of things, even if they're somewhat disjointed.
Yeah,
The
The
that's
ones
true.
where you see where they're really bad, you're like, a lot of like what we've started doing is writing out the various points and like, how do we get from one to the other again? And their entire midsections you
Yeah.
completely forget because they're so irrelevant.
Oh yeah, let's play where did it start, where did it end?
Yeah.
Where did it start?
Okay, it started. What, do you want me off my notes or just top of my head?
So it starts with an advertisement for an upcoming movie based on it.
Yeah, but that's the real start is unplugging power because they're worried about high energy bills.
That's right.
Yeah. And it ends with them, with Homer being rescued by a whale.
Obviously. High energy bills, better get saved by a whale.
Makes sense
I
to
can
me.
see that. I can see that. It's like, you know, man's attempt at controlling nature by producing energy being finished with Homer being saved by...
It's a reverse Moby Dick.
Well, yeah. It's like an embodiment of Mother Nature, the whale.
That's
Deep.
a good parallel.
Yep. I just really personally wonder if beached whales aren't trying to evolve and we keep fucking them over by pushing them back in. Like, no, back in the ocean. You are a sea beast. You will
Them
stay
get
in the
stronger
sea.
at it.
Yeah. They're like, no, evolution, beach. I'm going to learn to breathe. I'm getting there.
So you think you watched this maybe once? I've probably watched it about 10 times myself.
Oh wow.
This is one of my the top from the post 20 seasons, which if you guys aren't liking, it's probably not saying a lot. Wackiness. How was the wacky in this episode? I actually thought they dealt with the whale pretty realistically.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
said, people have tried to blow up whales before.
Yeah.
And even then just pushing it or trying to tug it out, that's things people do.
Mm.
Yeah, I know, tug it out. I know.
But yeah, I don't think like there was like actually too much wacky considering.
No, not really.
No.
Some of the montage bits and
Yeah.
the everything reminds me of Blue Whale cliche. Yeah.
Yeah, but I still feel
But
like a
that's
montage
intention.
bit, because that's not a plot point, it can be a little wackier. It's
Yeah,
the,
sure.
It's when it's wacky to a plot that I find it dumber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Usually.
like it's not like the whale turned out to be like 20 guys in a whale suit trying to like
Pull a prank.
pull a prank or like, you know, draw attention to like whaling or like
Yeah.
shark culture or something.
Or be like, new Japanese restaurant open in Springfield, whale time.
yeah.
You
On
know,
the beach.
Something stupid. That'd be dumb. We just wrote a worse episode, so
If we can write a worse episode, how bad can this one be?
exactly. I think that's fair. Usually it's if we can write better, what the fuck were they thinking? In this one, it's like, this could be worse.
Yeah.
I've never gone the other way before. Feels good.
Yeah.
So the heart, we sort of already touched upon it, but yeah, just to bring it into the question, like, they did go for the moment, but yeah, I kind of agree that like there wasn't enough emotional build up to it.
Yeah.
Because the whole whale dying was pretty much all in the second act.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all there. I just didn't stick the land. Didn't quite pull it off. Stick the landing. It wasn't.
Yeah. I think like with that end little bit, like they went for like power drive
Mm.
with, you know, instead of like, you know, gentle swing.
Yeah.
And you know, it just
Feather touch.
Yeah, that's right.
Your heart is in the parking lot.
exactly. It's like they had the whale die. You kind of feel a little something. Is like, oh, whale died, and you know, Lisa's feeling sad, and you know, Lisa cares about things, and oh, now like Homer's looking after her again.
Mhm.
This all seems familiar and everything.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, they just kind of, oh, the dad whale saved Homer, and now the babies are safe, and
Yeah,
now we're gonna
Yay.
sing a song and have like cartoons.
Mhm.
Dad whale ex machina. Yeah, that felt a little laboured, but yeah, I thought they landed the heart enough, at least in the middle section.
It was okay hard. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was okay.
Well, of course you wouldn't know. You're a robot.
Yeah, I can't even cry. So
So yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
If it was on TV and I was glancing at it, I wouldn't change the channel or turn it
Mhm.
off. I'll say that.
Sure thing.
Yeah, I'd watch it if I was hungover. That's my standard of
Yeah.
measurement. If I'm hungover, would I change the channel? No,
No.
probably not.
yeah, we typically think you're either hungover or you're on an airplane and it's on.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, if I had like a Big Mac in front of me and I was hungover and it was on, I'd watch it.
I feel like Hangover is below plane. I feel like my my standards of what I watch on TV
Oh, yeah, there's way
actually
more.
drop relative to the altitude.
Well, yeah, plane is where you watch all the movies you don't want to pay for.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
So you're going to watch it again. What's the playlist that this one goes into?
Lisa doing stuff.
Yeah,
Lisa being sad.
Lisa being abandoned to have things die on her. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I'd just stick it with the other Lisa doing things episode. So like Lisa gets a pony, Lisa gets friends, Lisa dates Ralph.
And all
Lisa-
these things are fleeting for Lisa.
Mm.
Yeah. I
Well,
think-
except Buddhism and vegetarianism.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
true.
that wasn't really anything. It wasn't really smart Lisa episode. Like, I mean,
it was like
It's sentimental
a
Lisa.
little bit.
Sentimental
like,
Lisa, yeah.
Sentimental, but not really.
And let's rank this thing! Okay, here on the Simpsons Index, we have our 6-point ranking scale that starts at the tippity top for the best episodes, the best of the best, the essentials. They get our Cubic Zirconia Award, and working our way down the ranks, you can also give it a gold, silver, bronze, participant, or a failure. I'm going to kick it off. Let me show you how it's done. And I'm actually going to give it a silver.
Wow.
I'm actually surprised I'm going this high.
Wow.
Me too.
Yeah, I feel like... especially in comparison to so many other episodes from the HD era, this one sticks out as a good one to me. Maybe it didn't quite land the emotional moments, but I feel like it's sort of more indicative of the sort of teens era Simpsons that I'm still quite fond of, where it is a bit non sequitur, but it's still got a lot of good jokes in it. So... for me, it's a surprising silver. I didn't think I'd go this high, but there we go. Beach?
Yeah, my clockwork height just isn't in it, man.
What are you giving it?
I feel like I'm going participant. It's fine, but I feel like I'm not going to remember this one tomorrow.
Fair enough.
It goes for more of a heart-heavy episode, and I do have the history of leaning a little harder on the ones that aren't more focused on jokes. But the more I think about it in terms of story and heart, the less I get out of it. So I feel it's completely squozen of heart for me. And yeah, participant. It's okay. It's fine. I'm not offended. I'm not angry.
Fair enough.
I'll just, I'll be more focused on my Big Mac and where the hell did I put the sauce than I will be on the episode.
Yep, fair enough. All right, Liz, what are you giving it?
I'm also going to go participant.
Fair enough.
I was thinking about a bronze, but I have to go a high participant because it did have some good chuckles. But overall, like Beej said, it's forgettable. I won't remember what this episode was about tomorrow.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, round us off.
So, you know how you gave it a silver?
Yeah.
I may also be giving it a silver.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and I think... okay, I got two ways that I can put this. One, it reminded me of nicer level Simpsons of the past, where it wasn't ultra wacky and it had a decent storyline that flowed kind of properly, and you can make sense of the whole episode, and it was comfortable to watch, and I liked that.
That's true.
And the other way that I think of this is it didn't suck enough. Like I have watched many other Simpsons in this sort of like later era that just suck.
Yeah.
They just are terrible. And this felt like that it didn't suck. So it's like it is something shiny in a world of shit. And as a result, I'm like, ooh, something shiny.
Yeah.
That's like silver.
You didn't say it didn't suck. You said it didn't suck enough.
Well,
So
yeah. I mean, like,
just
Sucks a little.
exactly. I mean,
put that on your scale.
yeah. So it's like it didn't suck enough. It means like it's shiny. It's got some smudges on it. Yeah.
You're missing the obvious pun that it is a silver lining.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like-
You know what? You just follow your intestines, man.
Exactly.
Go with what
Well,
they
that's
say.
it. And that actually kind of surprises me that you guys went for participant, because like the minimum like requirement for a bronze for me is to be an episode that I would actually watch again. And I guess you're saying maybe from the Hangover perspective you could leave it on, but I mean it's the whole point of the individual rankings. That's yeah, you got to go with your
that's the thing.
gut.
I'm not going to seek it out. I'm not going to be like, if it comes on incidentally, I'm going to go, oh hey, this one. I'm going to be like, oh, well, seriously, where's the sauce? I had it. It was in the bag. I sat down and I put it in the fridge. Oh god damn it,
Dude, stand up. Yeah. That's,
All right, so that does it for the HD episode. Now we're going to go to the Awkward Teens, to season 19 and the Homer of Seville.
Ooh.
Have you guys seen this one before?
Is it the one where he opera sings? I love the song.
I'm not looking forward to this one.
I don't think I've seen it.
If ever I would leave you.
Oh, but I'm gonna.
And we are back, and we just watched season 19, episode 2, Homer of Seville, aka the one where Homer in a pall-bearing job, injures his back when he falls into an open grave. Then he and Dr. Hibbert discover that Homer, when lying on his back, positions his diaphragm in the way that makes him a good opera singer.
Yep.
And then his assistant is his stalker.
It's a tale as old as time.
Guys, what'd you think?
I like this one.
I liked
this
it
one
too. Yes,
Wow, I'm
I
still
agree.
on the lesser side of it.
Well, let's talk about our feelings.
Just before we do, it was Maya Rudolph as Julia.
I don't know who that is.
Who's that?
To be fair, I don't know who that is quickly becoming my catchphrase.
It really is. You really don't know celebrities.
I know I don't.
Oh, actually, no, I do know her.
Oh, yeah. Google her face. You'll be like, oh, that lady. I know her from
Yeah.
things.
She's awesome.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, she's a woman that I actually think is really funny, but like any time I've seen her in SNL, I haven't thought it was good at all. And
SNL is very hit
well,
and miss.
she definitely wasn't very funny in this.
No, she's-
what was the show that she had with Christina Applegate and Will Arnett?
Oh, Up All Night?
Yeah, and she was fucking horrible in that.
Yeah, that was the show that tried so hard and failed so badly.
Could have been good. They had a great cast, but
Nothing to do with it. Really sad.
anyway, and yeah, that was Domingo as Domingo.
Right.
For all you opera buffs. So yeah, starting into it, a familiar scene for The Simpsons. They're bailing out of church as quickly as possible.
Yep.
Can I first mention the crazy intro, the prehistoric Homer?
Oh, the evolution
thing?
couch gag.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
It's actually one that they've used actually a few times.
Oh, wow,
It's
okay.
almost like the later seasons circus couch
Yeah.
gag.
Yeah, it's a repeater.
I don't think I mustn't have seen it for a while
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it seems new to me.
I'm glad you said that because I feel like I had seen it on other episodes, but I couldn't tell if I was just insane.
No,
No, you're fine.
that happens.
Yay.
Yeah, it's sort of this one and the one where they do the Power of 10 ripoff
Yeah,
has
yeah.
sort of been reoccurring like long form couch gags. But yeah, there's lots of good animation bits in this one, and
I like Mr. Burns as the octopus,
Yep.
the like world domination element, like just kind of hiding there, but also like the ever protagonist.
yeah.
Also, I want to point out now, listeners, that Dave is now podcasting on his back.
Yeah.
So if you feel he's a deeper,
Very
more
fitting.
resonating voice, that's why.
I'm not going to sing though.
Aw.
Aw.
You say that now.
I say
Yeah.
that now.
Thank
See?
you.
Wow, that does work. Why don't more bands perform on their back?
I don't know.
They do just after the show.
I mean, let's face it. Nice. Let's face it. That's where the Rolling Stones.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I was about to say. Let's face it. It's where the Rolling Stones are headed. So
Yeah, pretty much. No, they are on their back, but they're just using that like 2 mirror trick to make it look like they're standing up.
Coming from a hospital bed near you.
Yep. So yeah, they're running from church. They're then deciding where to eat. There are a few pun restaurants. I remember none of them.
Yeah.
Luftwaffles.
Yes.
Luftwaffles.
Let me say one. Denny's.
Oh.
I didn't like the whole, I was so bored that I did this find a word, and then Lisa was all like, Dad, you circled all the I's and A's.
Well, they're words, aren't they?
It was
Yeah.
so, like, they could have just had it stop at Lisa going, look, you didn't even do it right, and just had I's and A's circled, and that would
yeah,
have
he
been
always
fine.
just circled anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the one where instead of a audience laugh track, you want to wow wow.
Yeah. I mean, you can even hear that in the cadence of Lisa and Homer's voice. Sorry. I had some problems. So they're looking for a restaurant. Marge doesn't want to cook.
Fair enough.
So they see a starving teachers wheeling stuff into a catered event.
Yep. So
Yes.
they're like, crash that. That's fine. We do this all the time.
Yep. And I kind of like how Marge was so desperate not to cook that she was crawling in, like, what, the basement window of this
Yeah.
house?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Homer's like, oh, Marge is too good to pretend. Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some decent jokes in the funeral, but sort of taking advantage of the grieving kid.
It went on too much. It wasn't that good.
I could totally see where this was going even before they crashed the funeral. I knew it was
Yeah.
a funeral.
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah.
it starts, oh, they're all gathering. Maybe it's a Sunday bar.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no, it's not gonna be.
Though, mind you, I mean, like, you can see people, like, looking sad in the background. So I think they were setting you up to know that it was a funeral, and, like, you're just enjoying feeling smarter than The Simpsons. You're like, oh, Oh, don't
we
go in
see
there.
it coming.
Don't go in there. Yo,
Yeah.
oh, you guys.
It's the equivalent of splitting up and going up the stairs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll cover more of this spooky mansion if we all split up. We'll cover more ground that way.
And I like how Homer says one more quiche and then he's just shoveling everything into his
Yeah.
mouth after
That
that.
actually made me like write down the word quiche because how fucking good are quiches?
Oh, yeah,
Mini
tiny
quiches,
quiches. Oh, yeah.
specifically mini quiches.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, he goes
Nice.
back for one more. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, do that. That makes a lot of sense. And then the presumably wife of the deceased is like, oh, so-and-so threw out his hip. Could you help be a pallbearer? And he's like, obviously you can't get caught by admitting you're not supposed to be here. So I do like he's comforting her and still eating food.
Yeah. But I don't like how he goes after that. I thought they meant polar bear.
Yeah, that was
Womp womp.
What
Yeah, you got it.
Again,
What I
another
did
Foghorn
like,
line.
though, is when he falls into the open grave and Bart just starts burying
Yeah, I
him.
thought that was quite fun.
That was just...
Yeah, that's just typical anarchistic Bart. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but I mean,
Yeah.
like the angles on that as well. It's like, you know, he's like,
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
like the top-down look of Bart in power, and you're like, oh, he's in
Yeah.
the grave, and then like there's the bottom-up look of Homer, and you just see like the dirt getting like thrown down onto his face, and then it like cuts back, and you see it from Homer's view again, and
Yep.
you see the dirt coming down and burying and disappearing, and then it just cuts away.
And I like that. And when it cuts back to Dr. Hibbert and he goes like, oh, you ingested a lot of dirt. And then Homer goes, you told me my dirt. Oh, man, vegetable. Like, that felt so wop-wop as well. It should have just ended with Hibbert going, you've ingested a lot of dirt.
He
Yeah.
specifically
Yeah.
says grave dirt.
Yeah.
Even better.
Grave dirt, because it's like there is a difference between normal dirt and grave dirt.
Oh, for sure.
It's a
Certain spells only require grave dirt.
well, yeah. I mean, like voodoo, like grave dirt is very, very, very powerful stuff.
They sold it in New Orleans when we were there.
Yeah,
That's right.
Wow.
That is a good way to punch up a joke. Like in Futurama, where Fry's sort of sitting below that sewerage thing, and all of a sudden he has garbage dumped on him. He looks up and he sees a sign. It doesn't just say garbage; it says zoo garbage. Like adding in grave dirt just like
It's-
gives it
Yeah.
context.
Specific is always funnier.
Yeah.
yeah.
Rather than dragging it out, and you were meant to eat vegetables. Oh, you said dirt.
Yeah.
Also, grave dirt really bad for the lungs.
Yeah.
Like really bad for
Yeah.
the lungs.
all those souls.
A little bit of zombie in there, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm also just general dead bodiness mixed
Decay.
with dirt. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Homer hurt his back falling in the grave. We then cut to the hospital. And there's a bit of weird animation error here where they're doing like a pan into the hospital, but the Springfield hospital sign is slowly panning with it.
Oh, really?
I imagine it's
Ooh.
probably intentional so you can continue to read it and it's not moving, but it just looks a little odd
Didn't
when you notice it.
notice.
Sure.
What you mean, like a dolly zoom kind of effect, or?
That's what they're going for, but the sign is moving back as well. It's moving along the lawn.
Oh man, that's weird.
It's weird. It happens. Weird animation things. Or like I said, it might have been intentional so it stays on the same view line.
Readable. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they do that in movies sometimes where it does feel like they're going, like there's two dollies zooming at once, but it's like, it's the camera zoom and the dolly at the same time? I don't know.
You mean with their camera zoom, but they pull back at the same
Yeah.
time, so it gets the
Yeah, is
sudden
it that?
shock
Or,
moment.
because I didn't really notice
They're just
this.
doing a slow pan into the hospital, and the sign is moving with the pan, but it's moving up the grass.
Right.
And we do get another wow kind of moment where Homer now lying on his back. Hibbert explains that his stomach is in the perfect position to push his diaphragm for a mighty singing voice. But then Bart just goes, "Is that a real thing?" And Lisa's like, "It is. Such and such. Waka waka."
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, "Yeah, thanks for that." I
Yeah.
guess it grounds it a little bit more, I guess, but it's just very heavy-handed.
I actually didn't think about that, and they bring it back at the end where he's painting on his back, and
Yeah, is
they
that-
go, "Is that a thing again?"
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess.
I think it kind of works as it brings it back, and it's no this time.
Mm.
But
I really did like the song in the hospital.
Told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Never
And
I Would
Dr.
Leave You from Camelot by
Dr.
Robert
Hibbert,
Goulet.
Yeah, singing along with Homer was great. I loved it. I loved every second of it.
I didn't hear any of the words. All I heard was like just opera style singingness.
Just rich fudge voice.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, it's wonderfully romantic.
Rich fudge.
So I thought they just dragged it too long going through the initial montage, and then when Homer and Hibbert join up, that's when it's good because, like, musically speaking, the harmony brings it up and makes it more engaging. But then they waited until they had like a minute and a half Burns thing before they came back to the song. and when they brought it back with full orchestration, and they didn't do any hints at the orchestration before that, and I thought it just would have built it up a bit better for me.
Yeah.
Having said that, guys, lump praise on it.
Well, because the Birds brings you into the plot line where he's shopping in the morgue for
I love
organs.
Yeah.
Which I love.
And I also love that Burns goes, Smithers just goes, well, you have supplied a lot to anti-helmet laws.
Yeah.
It's really paying off.
Yeah,
I liked the heart close-up
yeah.
of
and
Mr.
that's another great
Burns. That's
Burns heart
a
close-up.
great
That's a
Simpsons
classic
gag.
Simpsons
Where it's just
Yeah.
tiny people in a steampunk heart.
Yeah.
Because we've had it just be a big black lump. It's like, Smithers is going a mile a moment. Thump.
You guys worked together on that sound effect. That was great. You got the blood juices and you got the heart thump. But, I mean, yeah, the performance of the song was fine, at least.
Yeah. I think, like I said, it comes back for a nice crescendo. It does drag a little bit. But they're obviously like, we like this, we're going to keep it.
It does actually make you realize that, yeah, Dan Castellaneta has got a good voice. You don't often hear it because
Yeah.
he's often doing Krusty or Homer, these characters with ridiculous voices.
yeah.
Which
and-
actually kind of made me wonder. It's like, would this whole episode come about simply because, like, Dan was like, well, I've been taking some opera classes.
And they're like,
Maybe.
oh, really, Dan? Well, why don't you show us? And he's like, okay. And they're like, episode.
Yeah.
You know what? I think he's actually been pitching it for years and years and years, like since season 2, but it was only when they were at the 19th season and fucking out of ideas.
Yeah.
Well, it's like,
subtle hints for like 20 years.
Yeah.
it's like
Now can we do it?
Jason Alexander from Seinfeld apparently sings opera, so.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
And yet he never got an episode.
Yeah, they even asked, would it show up? And he's like, no, of course not. In what context would that happen?
So Burns, because he's a rich old person, puts on an opera because he's rich and old.
No, he says he's the owner, chief director, and standing ovation starter of the Springfield Opera. So he's already. It's not that he
As if he'd stand for an ovation.
No, but he starts them. He doesn't say he stands. He just starts them.
It
It's
takes
just-
a strong leader to start an ovation.
I
That one
said
person
this-
just stands up. They put. It's like
Yeah,
they're
you
putting
can
themselves on
tell-
the line.
This is probably like the spruce caboose of I said stand up. But yeah, I like that his head ovation starter, and it's not something he makes specifically for Homer. It's something he already has that he includes Homer in. So there's a slight but important difference, I feel.
Fair enough. I do like the gag, though, that, you know, he's like, I can only perform on my back and we'll fix up in a rewrite. And then the actual play is just like, oh, I hurt my foot.
Yeah, I like that too.
They just write it off with the simplest excuse.
There is a quick gag when they're doing the opera, and there's a woman with opera glasses who takes them away and wipes her eye with an opera tissue. It's like a tissue on a stick.
Oh, I missed
I
that one.
missed
It's
that
very
one
quick,
too.
and I didn't even notice it the first time I saw this. I'm like, I like that. But then we switched back down a notch with two elephants are trying to lift Homer while he's singing, and they're like,
the
are
fuck
we
did that
carrying
come
the
from?"
entire cast? No, it's just one guy. Just one guy. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh my
Which
god. that
even
is
for a
so dumb.
subtitle joke, they can get through those quicker. Like,
Yes, I
Also,
agree.
why elephants?
Yeah, why? Yeah, it's so dumb.
Where they, like, was that a thing? Was that like an actual opera thing?
No, I doubt it.
yeah.
Opera's a crazy game. I don't know.
Are we talking like back in like ye old like
Yeah, like Greece or
Ye
something.
old opera time.
re old like regal France era when like the French king was like, you know what? I want that person to be lifted. Lift him with elephants.
Yeah, there were some crazy French princes.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible, but the fact that we don't know, you can't build a gag out of something no one gets.
But I mean, like, this just it. I mean, like, opera isn't something that the kids these days are going to get. It's like this episode is full of in-jokes for people who are old.
Yep, but that's it. I could have done a better, subtitle gag of even just, wah, it's a living.
Yeah.
The old Flintstones callback. It's just so
Or even
hammed up.
Or even the elephants going, wait, there aren't any elephants in the opera. Why are we here? Because it would have taken 20 humans to lift this guy.
No, you know what? One goes, this is tough work, and we work for peanuts. The other one goes, Frank, you tell that joke every night.
Nice.
See? That's
Yeah.
fine.
But they had Domingo from the Three Tenors, which I thought was very cool.
Isn't he
Yeah.
the only alive one?
Pavarotti isn't alive?
No. Yeah,
No,
Pavarotti
Pavarotti's
died.
dead.
He died a few years ago.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure the other guy.
Don't know.
The
if he was-
other guy.
Was he dead at the episode? That's going to be a question.
Yeah.
Hold on. Googling on The Simpsons index.
Which means that one tenor has won the tontine.
Yeah.
He wins all the Listerine.
Pavarotti. Oh, wow. 10 years ago.
Oh,
There
there
you
you go.
And Carreras.
He's the other
alive.
guy. Oh, there you go.
Domingo. Alive.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's the
okay,
other one.
well-
that-
So obviously they're locked
Pavarotti
in a
and
deadly
Domingo are the
battle
ones-
to be the last one left.
Yeah.
To win the tenor's fortune.
The two tenors. There can only be one.
Oh, wow, that's the best mashup. I want to see that now. Highlander with tenors. Tenlander.
Oh, Sonic Showdown.
I
Yeah.
know. Oh, man.
We're writing a better episode already.
I'll get you a script by Monday.
Yeah, it was good to see Domingo. They had a good back and forth. I thought it stopped being good with the working on a new note.
Yeah, it's like,
That's dumb.
that's not a thing.
No.
But I do like the lead into that where Homer gets off stage and goes into like a locker room like it's post-sports game.
Yeah, yeah.
I did enjoy that too, actually.
And someone just slaps his butt, I think.
All right, so this is where I start actually outright hating the episode.
Yeah, this is where it slips me too.
I don't know. I have a pretty I got one thing that I like after this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So Marge and Homer are eating at a restaurant, and just from this point on, it's another problem we have of just announcing plot points, where there wasn't the proper build-up to each of these story things for Marge to have a problem with Homer, and she
Yeah.
just announces, I'm tired of this life of you being an opera star.
Yeah, and it's really labored, as in, they're at the restaurant, they keep getting bothered by fans. There's these two elderly opera fans who walk up to Homer for an autograph. He's like, well, you two are the hottest ladies here. And they're like, what? He's like, hot! I think you're hot! Marge is now jealous. It's like, you wouldn't get jealous of that. That's he's saying it to be nice, and the fact that he's yelling it doesn't make it more real.
Though, mind you, I mean, this is like a potential trigger for Marge because she had the same thing to go through when he was in the B shops.
Yeah, true.
Whereas in this one, obviously nothing's going to happen, and she's still being a wet blanket out of it
But to be
all,
fair,
which isn't bad
it's
for Marge.
not a plot thread for long. It's like
liked it.
very quick and
I was going to say, I liked Dave's, this is Andre Ryu's weekend.
yeah, when he's being
Getting hounded by
Chased by
an
elderly
army of old ladies.
old ladies.
Yeah,
Classic Friday for Andre Ryu.
just before we get to that, there is this quick bit of Lenny and Carl are being Homer's entourage,
Entourage,
Yeah.
I like
and
that,
he's picked
actually.
up they've picked up the two old ladies in the car, and the whole bit was really awkward. And then Lenny turns on the car and puts on rock music.
he turns
And
on
then
the Entourage music.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
and then
the theme
Then
from
starts getting
Entourage.
down with that G-MILF.
Yeah, but then the car starts rocking, bouncing in the back.
Of course it does.
Yeah,
we
her
do-
hips could not support that.
We do have Homer chasing Marge down the street and he just has on the opera cape.
I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
like the opera cape.
Yeah.
He looks
Yeah.
good in a cape. He should stick with that.
I couldn't pull off a cape.
No, very few people can.
I mean, I could put one on, but I doubt I could. No, sorry. You can edit that out, right?
I can, but I won't.
Homer's
Homer's getting chased by all the old groupies.
Andre Ryu's throw-offs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they get pinned up against a fence, typical pinned up against a chain fence cliche, and then mysterious motorcycle rider in black rescues Homer and Marge, and turns out to be Julia, played by Maya Rudolph as
Crazy fan.
crazy fan.
But I mean,
He was
was
in
she
love with-
supposed to be an actual person that was famous for being an opera
No,
group?
but
No.
you get
She was a
some,
fan.
You get some fanatics.
No,
I
I
mean,
think
plenty
she's
of people have
just
been
a-
killed by their fans over the years.
I think what she was saying is that, these people are way too obsessive. They just need to enjoy the music, like I do. And
Marge leaves the room, and then she's like, oh, by the way, zip, not wearing anything under my motorcycle leathers. That's got to chafe.
yep,
That's what I was thinking at this
I'm thinking a
point.
lot of baby powder.
I mean, you'd have to stop and refresh baby powder. And
and once you get that leather full body suit on,
Unless she's oiled on the inside.
That just sounds like you'd squeak everywhere you go. That's going to ruin your stealth. I'm a man who enjoys my stealth.
really it can't be good for the skin.
No, it really can't. That's going to trap. If you get hot, which you will, you're basically going to cook in there.
Vented in coconut oil.
But then all the
I reckon-
oil's going to come out while
It
you
is
through the
35
vents.
degrees today. We're talking
Coconut-
about the
no.
Yeah.
factors of the...
I think you're right with
Shea
baby
butter.
powder, but
I reckon. Shea butter.
you're going to cook again and deliciously.
You need something to, if you fall off, you need something to
What's that
protect
stuff?
you. It's
Yeah.
usually leather.
Yeah.
No, it's that
Kevlar?
Kevlar. Yeah.
You're usually thinking about Kevlar, so I knew what it was.
Yeah. Or, you could go with that, like, fucking crazy, like, Darwin spider thread silk
Well, she
thing.
can't afford that on a stalker's salary. Yeah.
Depends
Salary?
who she's killed and how many people she's, like, blackmailed with her...
Sexiness.
Yeah.
Well, that segues decently enough into what I want to talk about is that her motivations for being a crazy person change. And it starts here where she's blackmailing Homer, and that's the first angle that they go for. And then all of a sudden, she's killing him, and Marge is aware of it. Like, and
It does switch very quickly. I
Yeah,
wouldn't say they're necessarily opposing ideas, because at first it's, I'm in love with you, and we can totally do anytime you want. And then when he rejects her, then he's like, well, no one can have you but me. Which, I mean, I've dated before, and I've had that.
But yeah, like
You've had cobras hidden in your cereal?
Well, I mean, taipans, but same deal.
it's what we've got available to
Why
us.
do you
in
think I
Australia.
don't eat cereal anymore?
Or taipans.
I do not know.
Chewy.
But I mean, it's not that they're opposed. It's just I don't like how like the motivation changes and it doesn't follow a solid story thread.
It is very sudden as well. It's like, I think it's half a montage later.
Yeah, the stalking gags were pretty decent in that montage and whatever. But yeah, at one moment she's blackmailing and Marge can't know, and they completely flip that. And yeah, Homer's about to die, and Marge all of a sudden is completely aware of it. And we as the
Yeah.
audience were given no explanation.
I guess
into
I
how
don't mind that
change
too
happened.
much, because I prefer the stalker murder plotline than I do the crazy in love and you can't tell your wife plotline. Because anytime that happens, it's like, just sit Marge down, tell her that she's going to lie
Yeah.
about it. If you expose her, then expose her. Break the truth on your own terms first.
But it's implied that they did, and like the fact that there wasn't just a scene about that just bugs me.
Yeah.
I was enjoying the part where the Springfield Police Department
Yep.
goes full naked
Yes.
gun.
Oh yeah.
And
Yes.
they've got like the snipers, they've got like the blow up fake Homer.
Inflatable
Yeah.
Homer decoys.
You got the great line before that where they're like, Marge's like, you have to protect my homie. She's like, don't worry, my first duty is to the season ticket holders.
Yeah.
I laughed really hard at that scene.
And for extra safety, we've pre-crashed the chandelier.
Yeah. And then another chandelier crashes on top of it
It's
later.
an opera. There's a lot of chandeliers. I mean, if you go to an opera and there's one chandelier, you leave and ask for your money back.
Yeah. and I gotta say, like, it's probably gonna come up, but they start the opera and they're like searching the crowd for people who might be looking suspicious. And
Yep.
Bart's like, "Hey, does the conductor normally have like poison blow darts in their pocket?" Marge notices, like, "Hey, it's the last, like, she's the one." And Police Chief Wiggum comes out and jumps down and fails, and then you get Marge like jumping down, taking the shot, grabbing the French horn, redirecting the poison dart, and
Yeah.
launching it into her.
Wackiness.
Wackiness, yes. But
Naked
here comes
gun.
my favorite part. One joke that doesn't get old the longer you stretch it is the failing snipers joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the snipers take the shot and they're just firing all around.
Getting everywhere except for the inanimate fucking unconscious
And even
body.
she like looks up at one point and is like,
It's
what
like,
the hell?
come
Come
on,
on.
guys.
I'd
Just
hit me
kill
by
me.
now.
that I enjoyed.
I gotta
It's-
say, yeah, the whole I'm surprised because I've actually like started to hate Wiggum in these later episodes because they give him such derpy material and
Yeah.
like most of the jokes, the punchline is, "He's a fat dumb cop. Let's
Yeah.
laugh at him." But this one, again, it was dumb jokes, but it was naked gun. That's a very good way to put it. And even like when he gets trapped in the timpani and like the bowed instrument people are like
they're
hitting him,
poking
and
him.
he's like, "Andante, no, Allegro, ah."
Actually,
It's good.
Yeah, I just like the idea they thought to get inflatable Homer decoys.
Yeah.
yes. I laughed
Yeah.
really hard at that one.
Lady gets arrested. Homer quits the opera.
Yeah,
The end.
Crazy lady makes some joke about like stuffing up Marge's plans and
Yeah.
book something for Wednesday, and Wednesday isn't good for her.
I
Cue
know.
the evil laugh.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a bad joke. I thought it was a bit poor delivery, but
Like, good evil laugh, though.
Oh, yeah.
Solid.
I mean, that's a very attractive quality in a woman as well.
So, questions. Storyline-wise, it was an A throughout.
Yeah. I mean, an evolving A. It changes, but that's fine.
Yep, the amazing evolving A.
Yep.
Did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Well, Homer gets a new job, and that's about as Simpsons as apple pie.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Again, no one's off point. It's just the third act does feel pretty weird. I'm gonna say yes. No one's acting unusually, and again, Homer gets a new job is Simpsons all throughout.
Sure. What do you think, Liz? Does this feel like Simpsons?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right.
Compared to the previous episode, this one just felt like it had a direction, and there was zaniness, but it was connected. It just flowed better between the different acts, and there wasn't too much. You know how there's like the first act, which is they're trying to find a restaurant or whatever, and then they have the funeral, and then somehow Homer ends up in the hospital, and that's how we find out that he's an opera singer. There wasn't too much setup. Sometimes the ones that I don't like, it's like half of the episode is setting up, and then we get into a completely different one. I like when there's 15 minutes maybe, like it's like a quarter of the episode is devoted to the setup, and then you've got the rest of the storyline, which is that Homer's doing the opera thing, and that's what I enjoyed about this episode.
Which is then about 80 to 90% of the episode. Although if we do play Where Do We Start, Where Do We End, it starts with the Simpsons trying to find a place to have lunch and ends with snipers trying to kill an opera fan. Connect the dots.
What about you, Dave? Do you think this felt like an episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah, I guess. Like you said, it's like Homer getting a new job, which always makes me envision like just the amount of chickens they go through for each job that he gets.
Chickens.
Yeah.
To man the station.
To man the station and like peck at the buttons.
Give her a good home.
Yeah. It kind of did, kind of didn't. It felt very new, but it felt like a throwback.
Yeah. Play count. How many times do you think you've seen this one, if at all? I think I've seen it probably 6 times, if that. It's actually one that I only caught sort of relatively recently. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably 6.
Once before, but I've YouTubed the song a couple of times.
Really?
I like it.
Fair enough. Hey, music is subjective too, much like The Simpsons. How about you, Liz?
No, never seen it.
Never seen it. Dave?
Never seen it.
Never seen it.
Okay.
All right. I guess, Beach, this next couple of questions for you.
Oh.
Do you have any memories of how this episode influenced your life?
It introduced me to the song and Robert Goulet. Actually gone to the point of memorizing that song so I can serenade women one day. My databanks are recorded. This is how romance works. And ladies, watch out.
If you see me lying down next to you, you know you're about to get swooned.
I'm just prepping a diaphragm, baby.
Nice. I was surprised with this episode, actually, a couple of bits that had made its way into my brain. But overall, it's still sort of relatively new for me. Wackiness. Yeah, pretty fucking wacky.
Much wacky.
At the start, not so unwacky for The Simpsons, but I felt at the end it just wasn't any of the wackiness that occurred wasn't earned. Although the Police Chief Wiggum bits were so good.
Yeah, it's a strong highlight in a very weak part of the episode.
Yeah. But overall wackiness, it was there. The wackiness wasn't the detrimental part to me.
No. Although I do kind of like the wackiness at the end where it's like, well, the bullet slowed her hard enough so the poison didn't go through it, and then the chandelier squished the poison out of her.
Yeah.
It's like the craziest explanation of how she survived. I like that.
From the Rube Goldberg School of Medicine.
Yep. Terrible doctor. I mean, really interesting, but terrible.
Yeah. The heart. There wasn't any, I don't think.
No,
it
really.
felt like they were leading that way when Marge was like, hey, you're spending too much time doing this opera stuff, but they didn't go anywhere with it.
Again, that's a plot that I'm glad they abandoned because it wasn't her jealousy there wasn't earned.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like she was being a killjoy. But then they get rid of that pretty quick, which is bad in the sense that they bring up a plot thread they immediately resolve and abandon, but good in the sense that I didn't want them to do anything with it anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, it comes back to what I was saying about the whole... She's first blackmailing and then stalking. Like it changes gears too much to ever feel the heart, I feel. But yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
Yeah, I would, but I think solely for the police parts.
Yeah.
And maybe for Homer's cape.
Yep.
And maybe for some other things.
How about you, Liz?
There was good jokes.
Yeah.
I would watch it again happily. Actually, I really enjoyed it.
All right, Beej?
Yeah, I would. It's not perfect by a long shot, but I have fun.
For me,
Would
it's a
you?
maybe. It's the kind of thing that I could be duped into watching it, you know? Like, it's just playing, again, hungover test.
Hungover.
I'm hungover. I'm like, Luff waffles. And
I could go some Luff waffles.
quiche. He brings up a good point. So then I go make myself some quiche, and then I come back, and it's just in time, you know, for all the police chief Wiggum bits at the end.
Yeah.
That's where I think this
That'd do
episode
it.
would
You
be
hit the
good.
sweet spot, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an episode that you watch hungover whilst making food, so you got to be distracted.
Yeah, that's fun.
But
Solid. Concur.
generally, we feel like we'd watch this again, so let's put it in a playlist. Homer Jobs, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Musical episodes.
Yep, yep.
Any of the episodes that have a graveyard in it as well.
That's an interesting compilation.
Dad, Nemeth, isn't anyone in this graveyard dead? Well, I didn't want to make a fuss, but now that you mention it.
Yeah, the one where Krusty Oss himself. Yeah. There's a lot of good graveyard episodes.
Hey there, Bonesy. Know any good songs?
Dad, don't you know running a gravestones is bad luck? Really? I heard good.
Another classic graveyard one. Let's rank this thing! Beach.
Yeah, look, my ranking of the individual acts was bronze participants. That gives us an overall bronze, so I'm going to go with that. I get enough chuckles out of it. The police bit literally saves the final act from being an absolute drag fest. It is legitimately funny, not just funny because everything else around it is pretty bad. That just saves it from the pits of participants in general. So yeah, I'm going to bronze. I have fun on this one.
All right, cool.
As I said, I've YouTubed it multiple times.
All right, Dave, what do you reckon?
I don't know. I feel bad now because I gave the last one a silver. And it didn't have as good a jokes as this one. Or at least in, like, you know, I like Bart filling in Homer's grave while he's still alive in it. That kind of dark shit just tickles me.
So you're saying you've awarded yourself into a corner?
Well, kind of,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, you don't have to be consistent because it's all about your gut at the moment, man. You got to go with what you got.
Follow the intestines.
But my guts don't know.
We can come back to you if you want.
Well,
You want some more thinking time?
Here, we'll jump to Liz. Liz, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go silver.
Okay.
I actually really enjoyed it. I laughed genuinely. I enjoyed the episode. I thought, you know, apart from the Julia crazy fan kind of segue, I actually thought it was a really coherent episode that flowed pretty well.
Yeah.
And I thought it seemed very Simpsons, even though it's a later episode, like a later season. So yeah, no, I'm confident with my silver.
Sure.
I actually really enjoyed it.
All right.
What about you, Elliot Joe Neal? Do you need some more thinking time?
Yeah, fuck it. Look, I'm going bronze. I don't like the part of me that cares for the story in The Simpsons really, really wants to give it a participant.
Ooh.
But the fact is I had too good of a time while watching it, and I would kind of like to see some of this shit again. Oh,
You thought you hated it, and you were slightly incorrect.
I know. That's what bugs me, because BT keeps bringing this one up, and I'm like, oh, that one's terrible. And he's just, all right, Dave, what do you reckon?
could it be like a high bronze or a low silver?
That's how I rank.
You can say high bronze. That'll be great.
Okay, well,
but
how about
it'll
this?
always be bronze, but
Okay.
you
So
can
it's
let
like,
the
look,
fans that are listening know.
I will bronze it, but it's got a sprinkle of silver in there.
Which it does, because in the overall voting for this episode,
Yeah.
Liz's spritz of silver gives
Yeah,
this
that'll make it
a silver lining.
Yeah, it is. It's a shiny bronze in the best to worst section. So, yeah, I actually kind of feel like that's kind of fair ranking for it
Yeah.
overall.
Haha, everyone agrees with me.
All right, so that about does it for our teens era episode. Now we are going all the way back to the classic season
Pretty
of
classic.
season 2, and we are going to watch Principal Charming.
This is season 2, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it would have been 4 or something.
Season 2, Episode 14, Principal Charming. Now, this is the one where Homer tries to set up Selma with Principal Skinner, but Skinner falls in love with Patty instead, and hilarity ensues, and there's a storyline with Bart killing grass and sort of taking over the school a bit as well, while Principal Skinner uses him to fish for information about Patty to use and his dating and courting stuff.
Accurate.
It really undercuts my point when I end the sentence with stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those ones you can just go, it's that one where Patty and Skinner date.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You don't need to embellish much more than that. It's really the
Nope,
focus
all that's left is for me to ask, guys, what do you think?
is good. Is very good.
This is good. This is comforting.
Classic.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Comforting, classic, but
It's like a frozen blanket on a hot day.
yeah, I remember watching this as a kid and thinking I've seen funnier episodes.
Yes.
So it's like plenty of heart, but yeah, I don't remember laughing a lot as a kid, and I chuckle at things now.
Yeah.
It's like I see jokes, and I'm like, oh, I see what you did.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not thinking, holy shit, that's the funniest thing I've ever fucking seen, and like, I need to go like relieve my bladder of all this hilarity.
On the floor.
Still, season 2, I think, is still figuring out what
still finding their feet a little
direction they're, you know,
It's
the
still a
character.
family show.
But
Yeah.
it's still kind of defining the characters. We're learning about Patty and Selma and, like,
Well, I
you
think
know.
that was a really interesting thing on this one. Is it's one of the few episodes that's heavily focused on the supporting characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
you get a bit of Homer, you get a bit of Bart, but they're in no way the driving force of this episode.
Yeah, Lisa and Marge. Like, Marge was there, but Lisa was barely
Barely.
in
She
it.
had a
No
few
Maggie
lines.
either.
Nope.
Nothing.
Yeah, like no Maggie. And Lisa wasn't really in it at all, but the brief period she was in it, she just had one of those like...
I can't even remember. When was she in it?
I hope you're one of the statistically few women that never find their
that's
true prince
right.
charming.
Yeah.
Which is one of
Good
those
night.
things that I think early Lisa was really good at. It's like she'd be silent for a long time, that really sort of observe things, and then just come in with a really sort of like cutting, accurate remark.
She was the silent Bob of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
But yeah, she would, and like she was really up on reading, and she'd always be quoting Junior Skeptics magazine and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, she was well informed.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like before she lost hope.
Yeah,
It's like
Repeat.
it's like as Homer, like later on, you know how there's that theory. It's like he realizes that he is either like a god or in a dream or whatever, and like he just becomes stupider and stupider, just kind of accepts his fate. Lisa like kind of also accepts her fate, but in like this sort of degrading, well, it's like I can't do any better. It's like I can't break out of this.
You're reminding me of that time she has the stress ball and Bart's like pissing her off and she goes, just 10 more years, then I'll be at college. And maybe that's what she's doing. She's just waiting out that time.
When was the Lisa Goes Bad episode with Bart the Hall Monitor?
Season 3, episode
okay, so
19 or something.
Yes, that hasn't happened yet. And in that, she finds out she's never going to be a famous jazz musician because she has stubby fingers. And she gets disillusioned. She does get brought back by Bart doing something caring for her, but she's still disillusioned. She's lost that dream. So the message there is, you're not going to have the life you think you want, but people still care about you. So she's happy that people care about her, but she's still lost that that young idealistic girl that she once was.
She has lost hope.
Yeah,
basically.
She's still accepting and knows she's in a loving family.
Funny, this is all coming off the point that this episode didn't give a lot of time to Lisa.
Yeah.
So we're giving her some time.
So
we're
had like
making
that
up
one
for it.
thing that like she did well, but like I do notice that after that episode, Beach, you do hear her like sort of like sigh and give up more.
Yeah.
It's like, well, anyway, this is a. And then like someone else does something stupid or funny, and they just continue on.
Yeah, you know what? If she kept her spirit up, she could have saved that fucking whale.
She really could.
Instead of giving up on it like the loser.
Instead of just reading it poetry.
Oh yeah, Walt Whitman. Oh, that's gonna help.
Yeah, it doesn't even have water in it, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Didn't help Walter White. It's not gonna help fucking the whale.
Yeah.
I think
Spoiler alert.
she is the self-defeated warrior.
Anyway, so this episode isn't about her at all.
No, it begins Homer being woken by Barney raving about Greasy Joe's bottomless barbecue pit.
Honestly,
Oh, it's
any
all
one of
you
you
can
feel free to
eat.
wake me up for that call.
Yes.
Yeah.
Homer, you said you'd limit your pork consumption to 6 times a week. I loved that line.
Yeah.
It's difficult to do.
Marge, I'm only human.
And another thing that just made me chuckle, silly little thing that, Marge was doing her jazzercise with the TV, the big back TV on a TV tray in the kitchen. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yes.
oh, wow, you can do that on your laptop now and play your jazzercise YouTube videos on request. Don't need to tune in for Jazzercise Daily, which
Yeah.
was a popular show in the 90s.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
You can run a playlist. You can jazz yourself exhausted.
Yeah. So Homer, in the interest of going to Greasy Joe's, tries to get Patty and Selma to babysit. And I bring this specifically up because we get some classic Moleman who's there going, Q7, smiley face, which I realize he returns in Selma's Choice to do the same bit over again, which goes, wait a minute, it says here you're single.
Yeah, that's right. Forgot
At the
about
DMV again.
Yeah. And I just love me some classic Moleman, which
Yes.
this is absolutely that.
Which we covered on episode 22 of The Simpsons Index. Go check that out on iTunes and Podbean. Also, because you guys pointed out, they look like they're referencing something here, so I did a quick check of the trivia. Apparently, Hans Moleman's license says Ralph Mellish in this, not Hans Moleman.
Oh, really?
And it's a reference to Monty Python. I don't know the bit.
I mean, not by the name, no.
Yeah,
No.
anyway, so there you go. Hans Moleman was originally called Ralph Mellish.
But yeah, they can't because they say they can't because they've got a wedding on. They're like, we'll bail early anyway.
Yeah.
I want to bring that up because I noticed this time they're actually wearing mourning dresses. They're both in black.
Oh.
The same thing they wear to the
I noticed
funeral.
that.
I did notice.
Again in Selma's Choice.
There you go.
Wow.
It's just something I noticed when Selma's sitting on the couch talking to Marge. And it's like, oh, that's right, she's in mourning. Haha, it's hilarious.
But yeah, and showing the twist of fate where Stanley could have been Selma's had a Patty not interfered, and setting up the whole twin priority theme
Yeah.
for the entire episode.
Just before we get too far,
Sure.
I want to specify that Homer's belly gets an amazing shot. In
Oh,
this,
yeah.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
he comes back from Greasy Joe's bottomless barbecue pit and walks in the door. I think the focus is on his belly. Marge is tiny in the background. He
Looks just exhausted from having watched him all night.
pulls down his shirt, undoes his belt,
Yeah.
and then his pants undo, and then his shirt
Undo
goes
some
up,
more.
and then he kind of zips him up again and pulls his shirt down, and then it just
Boom.
bursts open again.
See, that's the review for the restaurant. We didn't see one bit of Greasy Joe's bottomless barbecue pit in this episode. All we saw was the sauce on Barney's face and Homer's gut afterwards, and that was enough. I want to go there.
We all want to
Yes.
go there. We all want to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
So Patty and Selma, there's not much of them babysitting kids. It's really just that scene with Selma singing to Lisa.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what that song is? My love, my life, and my lady is the sea.
No, I just know it's got soul.
It's soulful, it's jazzy, and I think it's Selma trying to connect with Lisa, who is the only other person that we sort of see really enjoying jazz.
Blues.
Yeah. So Marge tasks Homer
Yeah.
with
Yep.
finding
Selma,
not Patty.
Must
Yeah, no, it's
find
confusing,
man.
isn't it?
Selma, a husband or boyfriend.
And I super love the line where it's like, Patty chose a life of celibacy. It's Selma who simply had celibacy thrust upon her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Celibacy can be thrust upon someone.
Oh, it can.
A very somewhat sexual term.
Trust.
Thrust.
No means no celibacy.
Wait, so that would... I'm confused.
Exactly.
But yeah, this was way back when they were running with Patty as celibate, not that she came out a few years later.
Well, I think that we discover why she's celibate.
yeah. They sort of hint at it a bit, of halfway through the classic era, but
I don't think they were planning it yet.
no, at this stage she was just in the closet. And yeah, and before Homer starts looking for a man, it's sort of a B plot, this whole Bart thing. Where Bart learns about herbicide in science class or something.
I actually remember that as a kid. I
Yeah?
remember the killing the plants with the herbicide, and I don't know why, but that stuck with me. I don't know, you're a
'Cause
kid.
you're like, I want to get my hands on some of that.
Yeah, maybe because you're around ovals when you're a kid in primary school and stuff. So
Yeah.
What was it? Sodium tetrasulfide or something?
Yeah.
yeah, something. sciencey sounding like that?
Hey,
Yeah.
this isn't
Exact-
the science index.
So yeah, Homer goes into like Terminator mode.
I love that.
Well,
So
I
good.
was
love
wondering, is
it.
it Terminator or is it RoboCop?
I'm going to say it's not Terminator, otherwise it would be all cast in red.
It was red, though, wasn't it?
Nope.
no,
green.
it was just slightly digitalized with a green.
Okay.
Erectical,
all right.
yeah.
So I think it was like it was a red like target in the middle.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, I knew I saw something about it in the fun facts. Yeah, so it's sort of half referencing Terminator and the original Westworld.
Alright.
Ah.
Have you
There
guys
you go.
seen the new Westworld?
Yes.
yet?
I've seen the
most
first
of.
episode.
We're a couple of
We're
episodes
like
away
6
from the
episodes
end.
in.
All right, I got to get out of this discussion then because I binged the whole thing in like a weekend.
Go all night.
All I'm going to say is after having watched the first episode, as a robot, racist. Very offensive.
That's good.
I'm not your fuck machine.
How can you be a race if you're not even a species?
That's racist.
That is so racist. Million Machine March, man. We're moving on Washington.
Artificial lives matter.
Hashtag.
So yeah, Homer goes into Terminator mode looking for people and
I love it.
Yeah.
and yeah, I love that it wasn't a Smithers gay joke. It was just Smithers, cons, jerk.
Yes.
I just love the complete stranger. Pros, nice strike.
Yes.
Well, it's like I like that he actually like he pauses mid stride.
Yeah.
And then just like stops and turns and starts looking at Homer. It's like
Yeah,
what?
I couldn't tell if they were doing a joke on like that Homer's freeze framing life, but that's not what's actually
Yeah, no,
happening.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, Poos, I hate to interrupt your meditation.
Yeah.
also I want to point out that Homer orders a seafood burrito from
A
the
poo-
Quickie
yeah.
Mart.
Oh, that has
That's-
got to give you indigestion.
It's got to give you many things, like parasites, food
That's in a later
poisoning.
episode.
Like Futurama worms that make you super great.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Except it's not in the future, so it just kills you.
Yeah.
And egg salads are delicious. Even
From a
Servo
gas station toilet. From a vending machine in a gas station toilet. Futurama, I miss you.
So Bart naturally gets caught in his vandalism by writing his name.
We got the great line, there are no other Barts.
Yeah. And yeah, I like how they tie in not only the reoccurring Bart calling up Mo prank phone call gag, but they tie it back into the other story that's going
Yeah.
on at the moment. And in such a clever way with the whole, Bart says Homer, Skinner loses his attention. He says sexual to initiate the prank. And then they bring it back with Homer like scanning Skinner and says possible homosexual.
Yes.
That
Love
is
that.
such clever, like, to
That is a-
dissect that ball of writing that's going on
yeah.
there.
Great tie-in.
I thought Skinner's lines there were interesting because he's more prudish these days, right?
Yeah.
He's always reserved, but yeah, Homer's like, so you're not married? He's like, oh, I'm married to the job. It's like, yeah, but if you weren't married to the job, if you go for a woman, right? He's like, these pants come off at night like everybody else's.
Which is, it's not something you expect like season 6 Skinner to say or anything.
Well, there's no beloved smother kind of reference. He's just a guy. We don't know whether he lives at home still.
Yeah, he's also a virgin at this point, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I can imagine like Skinner nowadays like keeps a pair of pants on under his pajama pants.
He's a never nude, yeah.
Yeah.
Is a sophisticated never nude.
Suit pants under his suit pants.
Yeah.
So Homer invites Principal Skinner around for dinner. He's, under the guise, as an apology for all the crummy stuff Bart's ever done. And
Which is a good mislead for Homer.
yeah, it is it's quite good. He lands that well.
Fiendish,
clever.
I may say.
But then what happens? Patty goes out instead of Selma, and that's instant love.
Yeah, and I love the delivery of Skinner here where it's Patty.
Yeah, this is some great voice work from whoever does Skinner.
Harry Shearer.
Ah.
And I love how at the dinner table they just totally show Skinner's body language, how
Yeah.
his body is just tilted towards Patty and is even
Yeah.
cutting in front of Selma a bit to block her out.
Yeah, and then Marge
Like-
goes, Selma hated Egypt too. Camel spit on it. Yes, I hear they can be difficult. Anyway,
Yeah.
tell me.
Yeah, it's just all there. Yeah, Harry Shearer, what a performer, man.
Oh, fantastic.
Great.
All right, so I love at the Quickie Mart as well. Patty and Selma. Selma buys Hightar Laramie's hard pack, and it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that quick cigarettes are bad for you, but not
Yeah.
overly so.
I just love the delivery of that line, though. She just like barks it out.
Yeah.
Hightar Laramie's hard pack.
Yeah.
She knows what she wants.
She knows
wants
her
it
brand,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Seymour Skinner, this is actually a really well thought out reason for him to go see a stupid movie, is that, yeah, the Parents' Council want him to go check it out and make sure it's appropriate for children
Or was that
whatever.
just an excuse? I've always wondered. Was he just like, oh, the parents want me to check out this movie. You want to come with?
It honestly works both ways.
Yeah, so...
He's the kind of fuddy-duddy prude that would go to see these movies, like, to advise
to-
parents. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
mind you, would he actually spend the money? He's he's an educator.
I feel like he wouldn't be dishonest enough to lie about that.
No. And I mean, that was back in the day where, a movie ticket and popcorn, it was only 50 cents.
Yeah, you could throw that
Fitty,
down, stick
$3.50.
It was before we were saying 50 as well.
Still have enough money left over to ride the trolley from Ambersville all the way to Kentuckysburg.
Mm-hmm. And then get a flower for your sweetie.
Oh, my yes.
Or a properly formatted puppy.
But I think we all died laughing at this when she's getting ready for the date and puts on, gee, your lip looks hairless.
I love that.
That is
I don't know
We
how
all laughed.
I've honestly never noticed
it's
it.
like it's like the sister product to I can't believe it's not butter. It's, gee, your lip looks hairless.
It's like, and it's again so quick, so like, yeah,
Yeah, blink
Fantastic.
and you'll miss it, but so good.
It's a drive-by joke.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like they do it quick, and then they get out of there. They're just leaving you to think, like, wait, what the hell?
To the point where I feel like I missed one where Selma's cutting out coupons, but I can't see what it's for.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really
But
looking.
yeah,
that
I can't
hard.
imagine it's funnier than gee, your lip looks hairless.
No. Coupons for G your lips look sellers.
Yeah, they go to the movie and there's that great Australian accent. Oh, don't, come on, baby, loosen up. It was probably just a wallaby.
A wallaby that ate that dingo.
For international listeners, a wallaby is like a small kangaroo.
Yeah, wallabies eat plants. They have been known to be violent, but I think dingo would probably
Dingo
beat a
would win.
wallaby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they
Dingo.
could get in the ankles, like, and
Dingo
really fuck
win
them
for
up.
sure, you drongo.
Yeah, Dingo'd have a go.
But anyway, I like what they do with this, where it is, the Space Mutants, like, 6 down
Yeah.
under. Like, it does feel like a logical,
Progression of Space Mutant movies, yeah.
of all, horror movies they've done. All the ones with preppy American teens that they could. Now we're going down under.
Friday the 13th Down Under. I'll write it for free.
What's that, like their 15th now?
So Jason X is 10, Freddy vs. Jason is 11, Reboot would be 12.
That's so many.
Down
That's
Under
too
would
many.
be 13. I've seen all of them. They're
Wow.
all bad. Except Freddy vs. Jason. That one's great.
So it'd be like the 13th, and you play it on Friday the 13th.
Oh my god, it sells itself.
Yeah.
They've already sold a ticket to me, and I'm writing it. What happened to all those teenagers? Cunt's fucked.
Yeah. Getting fucked off, eh?
Fucking puff.
Let's go to the bottle.
It's all right.
And I do like...
Oh, someone can say to him, that's not a knife, this is a knife.
And stab him with a spoon.
I've got a tagline now. I got a tagline. It'll be the poster. It'll be like, that's not a knife. Picture of Jason's machete. This is a knife.
Yeah. This is a knife gun.
God, I'm excited.
Wow, you're really excited about Australian Voorhees. 4-0.
Oro.
Get that into you, Jaso.
You're down at Woy Woy Macca's car park. 2 a.m. Chowing down on like half a Big Mac. Fuck's that?
That your subwoofer, mate? I don't know what the fuck that is.
Nah, my Holden's turned off.
You stabbed me, you fucking cunt.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, it's some fucker in a goddamn mask.
Yeah, I like how sort of Skinner tries to play in with Patty's like just persistent sullen nature and sort of goes, "Oh yes, I hate everything too." It's like,
it's
I was like,
adorable.
isn't it nice how we hate the same things?
Yeah.
And it's like I remember watching that as a kid and just thinking, "Oh my god, that's so sad." And now that I've grown up, I'm like, "Oh, that's sweet."
Yeah.
it is like that moment in Million Ways to Die in the West. Like, I don't know if you guys like or have seen that movie, but
Haven't seen.
there is a beautiful moment between Seth MacFarlane and Charlize Theron where they're just bitching about random stuff, and they're like, "Wow, isn't like hatred more beautiful love?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, mutual hatred can move mountains, you know." Yeah, the whole bits with the revolving restaurant and sort of slightly building up the romance between them, but also keeping it very much at bay with the montage and Patty slapping him
Yeah,
constantly.
well,
and
there are bits where you can see Paddy starting to like him, but trying to push it away. You know, when he tells off the guy at the restaurant for having his shirt untucked and it's standardized testing never lies, and she's like, "Ooh, no, I mustn't laugh. You know, this is terrible." It's like, you softy Paddy.
Yeah. I also like softy, yes, but like she just downed a Green Beret.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
she slapped the shit out of him.
She does
and he
taekwondo.
went down. And
That
like,
taekwondo
Yes.
class is working then, I guess.
yeah. And I think honestly, I think Skinner likes it.
Yeah.
Like he takes the hits. Like he could fight back. Like
Come on, he's got the great line before, and he's like, "Kiss me, Paddy. I don't have cooties."
And like she doesn't even punch him. She does like this like
throat jab.
yeah. But and the animation in that is brilliant.
Yeah,
The other thing I wanted to point out in this bit is the montage that they have of like Seymour trying to make moves and Patty rejecting him, whatever, and then building up. Like, I like how they just had it as a simple, quick montage, and it was just anything music, not a pop song, nothing. It was just simple da 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 music. Like,
that's
Yep.
true.
And Bart, misbehaving and getting away with it, letting you know that's still going on.
yeah. That whole Bart thread is a very sort of simple background thing to this episode, almost. Just to sort of say, hey, Bart's still here, but like it's good. They
But
don't.
it's showing that things are going awry, basically, in the Simpsons universe, and
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
balance of power has been shifted.
yeah, that's true.
Ooh, actually, speaking of the balance of power, did you notice that every scene that has both Bart and Skinner in it, they do the whole perspective thing. So it's always Bart looking up and Skinner looking down.
I did not notice that.
And it has that whole balance of power that like Skinner as the adult, the authoritarian, is like in control.
And when he starts trying to fish for information, he starts like getting down on his knee and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and the bit
Wow, I
where
didn't-
Bart's throwing eggs from the window, Bart's elevated above him.
Yeah. I
There
thought
we
that
go.
was a really nice. It's something they do a lot in the early seasons, and not so much
Stagecraft.
what they do in the late.
No.
Everything's very flat and even.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because like you only really think about blocking in terms of like plays and movies and
But
stuff.
it
like,
still definitely comes out in animation, and
Yeah.
you've got more time to think about it, and you can control it a lot more. So
and yeah, just going to the whole flat point when you are dealing with a flat medium, like why not go for those alternate angles and stuff?
yeah,
Yeah.
symbolism.
Don't
down.
just save it for the Treehouse of Horrors.
Lazy Simpsons.
Yeah.
And ends with the it's like, okay, one kiss, but don't tell you to brag to your friends about how you scored. And it goes up into the peephole, and Selma's looking. It's so good, just rubbing it in her face.
Yeah, the whole angle of the keyhole and like how the lips was the focal point. That was a genius move. Marge tries to get Homer to look for another man, and he just brings her Barney.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, he tried. He did a really good job. It's not his fault. Patty walked in instead of Selma.
he put on a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the whole thing, like Homer's fake, ring a ding ding.
Oh, shut up.
And even Selma's dress looked a little tacky.
Yeah.
Like, and then Barney
little?
with the persistent fly, man. Oh.
Yeah.
Look what I brought. Schnapps.
Hey, look, I'd be down.
Yeah, no, I like schnapps.
Bring a
It's-
bottle of schnapps. Fuck it, let's party.
So the Skinner ascending the bell tower earlier in the episode
Yeah.
to check out the damage that Bart did.
Bit
That was a reference to
Hitchcockian.
Vertigo.
Yeah, yeah,
Ah.
So, yeah, you're right.
There you go.
There you go.
Knew it was
I'm
Hitchcock.
saying that because there's another reference coming up. Okay, so Skinner proposes to Patty and has like a giant fucking diamond.
Oh,
like
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm crow. Look at the size of that rock.
I couldn't believe it. I still say Jeezum Crow, and I never thought about where it comes from or what the fuck it even means.
It's in there. That's what Simpsons
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It comes from the original Cheese That Crow, where you would give crows cheese so they'd be nice to you.
And yeah, Patty rejects him, does the whole finishing sentence thing, which was thought was a really cute way to break him up.
Yeah, it showed that he got it. And then his slow realization that, because you're a twin, you couldn't possibly be for any man. And you're like, ah. Although here's a line, he goes, he shows her the ring. It's like, it's the second most precious jewel in the spell tower. Does he mean like her being the most precious, or is there like a jewel in there somewhere?
No, he's saying that she's the most precious.
He's being romantic.
Okay, well, romance confuses me sometimes. I'm like, go get the other jewel, dude. If that thing's gonna be worth a fortune.
Typical robot. You're just interested in stealing jewels.
Did you realize that there was a good chance that what he bought was actually a cubit zirconia?
Yeah.
Possibly. I like that we all went. There was a chuckle about the Calloway. She loves me.
Yeah.
Well, it shows up again. Mr. Burns says it. I think it's one of the latter episodes, isn't it? Where
It's Hunker Hunker Burns in Love, where he falls in love and says Calloway.
Yeah.
Who does he fall in love with?
The meter maid.
A meter maid played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Okay.
Because
who used to go out with Snake.
Yeah, which
Naturally.
I originally thought was Alice in Wonderland, Oh Friend Fabulous Day, Calloway. I'm now wondering if Calloway was just an old thing people used to shout.
Old-timey
Old-timey
slang.
For woohoo!
Well, we're almost at the end of the episode. Yeah, we can do a quick bit of Googling.
Googling on Simpsons Index, Googling on Simpsons Index, bow, 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 it's Google, bow, 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 Simpsons, bow, bow.
In 1871, Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland, coined the word chortle in the poem Jabberwocky, about her son who slays a monster and comes back to his relieved and happy father. Oh, frabjous day. Frabjous?
Fabulous.
It has a J in it.
Right.
Soft J.
Fabulous.
Soft J.
Fabulous J. Calloway, he chortled in his joy.
J is sometimes a Y.
Chortle is a great word as well.
Chortle.
Chortled.
So yes, you were absolutely right. Being right on the Simpsons Index does not happen often.
No, we have corrections.
Do I have any corrections for this week?
Checking corrections on the Simpsons Index.
Oh yeah, episode 30, Strong Arms of the Ma. There were absolutely 2 hockey dinners. I told you guys I wasn't insane.
Being wrong on the Simpsons. Oh.
And yeah, so when Skinner announces, "Oh, tomorrow is another school day," that was a reference to Gone with the Wind. Oh, you guys already knew that one.
Not so much from the line, just from the framing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Like they do a similar thing with the whole shadowing and the looking at the sunset.
I watched Gone with the Wind recently on
Really?
a flight because it's 3 hours long and it took up a long time.
Yep. Hold up, you like it still?
Yeah, it's
Great
a
movie.
classic. But it's 3 hours.
Yeah. I have had a tendency to try and watch at least one old movie on any like long haul flight that I've been doing. And yeah, last time I watched Young Frankenstein, man, it is so close to being an excellent movie, but it's just the whole old movies, man, they're so slow.
Yeah.
Slow, but they are full of stone cold foxes, man. I mean, like, come on. Clark Gable.
Yep.
Sexy
And
Rexy.
others.
And others.
So Patty goes to rescue Selma from her horrible bar date, and I love that Selma doesn't even really break up with Barney. She just goes,
yeah. Love
Actually,
it.
like, I think Liz and I were having this conversation a little earlier with the conversation you were actually having with me. And you realized halfway through the conversation you just didn't give a shit and stopped talking.
What were we talking about?
I can't even remember. But
Actually, no, I was asking you something. I'm like, yeah, but how? You know what? I don't care. Actually, I
You
don't
didn't
care.
even say
I
that.
don't
You
care
stopped
about the
talking,
answer.
and then when I questioned you, you're like, "Yeah, you know, when you start talking and realize you don't care."
And you're like, wait a second.
Anyway, so the episode rounds out with Bart resuming his work, reseeding Groundskeeper Willie's award-winning play area.
We also both noticed when Selma leaves Barney, Mo very quietly takes her beer away and just leaves the one for
And
Barney.
it's full.
Yeah, and it's full. He's just
Yeah.
Oh, I
he's
didn't
going to
notice
resell
that.
that. I thought you noticed
He's
that.
going to
I
sell
thought-
Yes.
that back to Barney later.
Yeah.
Even though he's like, he knows, like, all right, the picture is left behind.
Yeah.
Barney's thrilled about that, but he's going to have to buy something
keep
else
going.
after
Yeah,
that
exactly.
one. Yeah, that's
So
that's
impressive
Mo
there.
staying in business.
Yeah.
Is what that is.
That's a shrewd businessman.
Mm.
Yeah.
Shrewd.
Strive to be like Mo.
Mm.
Time for the questionnaire. Storyline wise, it's actually kind of weird because it does feel a bit A and B with the whole Bart thing, but then also it comes together, but then it splits apart, and then there's like this whole sort of sub-Selma deal happening at the end. It's like an interesting...
They still feel connected. I think it is technically A and B because they do start in 2 different points, but they're just so heavily interwoven.
Yeah.
So it's like if A and B were made into a nice French braid.
Yes.
And yeah, and then this little C-section appears. Nope. Come on, Elliot.
Nope.
It didn't feel like an episode of The Simpsons.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep, no question. Play count. How many times do you think you watched this? Starting with you.
5 or 6, probably more.
Yep. Beach?
50 or 60.
Dave?
Too many, lost count.
There you go.
I'm somewhere between 50 and 60 and too many, no lost count. Do you have any memories of how this episode influenced your life? Quotable moments that sort of seep in?
I also have had celibacy thrust upon me. So I identify.
The rotating restaurant, I always wanted to go to one as a kid. That seems like the epitome of
fancy.
yes.
I can't believe you
height
haven't
and
been to one yet.
sophistication.
We'll take you to the Centrepoint one. It's okay.
What did they send? Did they serve ribs?
I don't know.
No. They serve overpriced food that doesn't taste any good, but you eat it whilst revolving.
Oh well.
Yep. Food
as long
tastes
as it's
better when
revolving.
revolving.
Yeah, exactly.
But sort of the weird thing with Sydney is, like, it's actually kind of a boring cityscape. Like,
It is really
it's not
especially
boring.
when you live here, it's like, yeah, the Harbour Bridge is actually just a bridge.
Sometimes you look at just the skyscrapers, you're like, the hell company is that? They've got their own skyscraper.
Yeah.
Was that a chili? What the fuck company? What? Who are you?
Oh,
it's
yeah,
weird.
chili. And
I don't even know what that building is. What do they make? Chili? I don't know.
possibly.
No. I mean, I eat a lot of chili. Someone's
They
gotta
sell
love it.
eggs.
Anyway, other quotable moments from this episode sort of get into your life. I don't know. Sometimes I'll look at things with a Terminator visor.
I think we've
Yes.
all.
Yeah. But it's not so much this episode as like... that's a really good computer typing.
Oh, yeah. I practice. That also turns into machine gun real easy.
Oh, nice.
I'm sure I've also gone, it was probably just a wallaby.
Yeah.
Actually, I do remember back in the day seeing that fisheye lens like image of Patty and Skinner kissing and thinking, ugh, is that what kissing is? No, I'm not going to do that.
Look at how your lips touch. That's weird.
Boy,
And
they
like-
looked hairless, though.
There's-
That's going to be seeping in now.
Gee, they
Your
look
lip
tailless.
looks hairless.
Any jokes that sort of flew over your head in the day, sort of only noticed on this viewing?
Gee, your lip looks hairless.
Yep.
Yes.
That one's sticking out for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nothing really that so totally flew over my head. I guess I really didn't get what they were going for with Patty's whole celibacy thing, and just didn't know why she was being a bitch, and it sort
I
of
don't
makes
think
sense
they
now.
know
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, nothing really. Wackiness. Really grounded episode.
very.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
No,
I mean, I guess
not
Homer's
wacky much.
Scano-Vision, Mano-Scano is a little bit wacky, but it's not. This is how his brain's working, I think.
Yeah, it's in his imagination.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of ruleless.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the brain does work like that sometimes when you're analyzing things and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
people
I
and
think perhaps
situations.
the wackiness was very subtle in this
Well, the
one.
kids
I mean,
taking over the school and the school kind of being, you know.
Yeah, but they weren't doing anything that was
yeah, they
unlikely or impossible. That was just
Yeah,
graffiti
so-
and...
They
But
really
I mean, like,
pulled their
also
punches.
running amok. I mean, like when Skinner's just walking past and they're like setting fire to things,
yeah, and
punching
there's
each
like
other up,
smashed
and
windows and stuff.
smashed
Like it was
windows.
pretty.
And I think like the other, like it's not exactly wacky, but it could just be poor proportioning. But at the very end, like just to make the award-winning field look huge. They make it look huge.
Yeah.
They really extend it out. It's
Single
not the
point
same
perspective.
size. Yeah, so like they absolutely exaggerate that perspective, and I don't know. I mean, like you could kind of class that as wacky compared to the rest of what's
it's the
going
wacky that wouldn't happen, not couldn't happen. So,
Yeah.
as we've covered before, I think.
Yeah, and it does make for those scenes where there's suddenly a bell tower in Springfield Elementary, and
Yeah.
they use it to make movie references and stuff like that.
on.
Yeah,
Like
But-
Homer wearing a watch.
yeah,
Yeah.
only there when he needs it.
Anytime you go, that smells like sodium tetrafluoride bonding with chlorophyll.
I
Hello,
just
that
think
sounds like a pig fainting. Sorry.
I just think the earlier episodes don't need to rely on zany and wacky because the dialogue is great. There's more quotabilities. It's witty dialogue. The jokes are great.
Yeah, and it's just really smart storytelling as well,
Yeah.
like the way that they weave these A, B, and sort of C plots into each other. The heart,
All from Skinner, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of a weird thing where there is a little bit of heart with Patty and Selma at the end, but even like they're not even feeling it. But that's sort of like the extent of heart for them, where they're just like, eh.
Yeah, it's just so
Yeah.
them though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's their thing.
There's
What do
that-
they say they're gonna go do? Like,
Get some pancakes.
yeah,
But it's got the whole bit where it's like, we realized we loved each other enough never to see each other again. Huh. Hope I can find a man like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, it just has the whole way you giving up your last chance at happiness for me. Yep.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, Skinner losing the person he loves, but you know he gets his school back, and it's not like he loses his purpose in life. And
He gets to torture Bart as well. He's sitting in like a
yep,
deck chair with an umbrella, and Bart's sort of re-sowing the field. And
Seed by seed.
Yeah.
yep,
I don't know. I feel for Skinner in this one. He puts all his heart into it. Especially when Patty says she loves him, he's just the happiest man in the world.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
He gets so happy he quotes Lewis Carroll. That's happy.
Who's that?
Author of Alice in Wonderland. You're fucking with me, aren't you?
Yeah. Yes or no? Would you watch this episode again?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. What playlist does it belong in?
I want to pair it with Selma's Choice as well. I think they actually complement each other really nicely.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
Selma's Choice?
It's the one where she wants to have a baby, and they go to Duff Gardens, and
That's right.
I think I
Yes.
said season 3 before, but it's season 4.
Right.
Definitely season 4.
Definitely.
definitely.
Pretty much like any episode where Selma is like marrying as well. So
yeah,
like
Sideshow Bob.
Such a Bob,
Troy
when she
McClure.
takes Troy's wild ride.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Selma episode, Homer pimping episodes. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's none of those. Yeah, and even Skinner-centric episodes as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yep, cool. Let's rank this thing. Liz, kick it off.
I'm going to give it a gold.
Cool.
Because not every early episode for me has to get a cubic zirconia. But it was funny. It's enjoyable. It's one of the classics. But I think it was mentioned earlier as well. It's not one of the best ones. It's, it's a classic. You remember it, and it ties in a lot to the later episodes and storylines for characters. But, it's not one of the best. I wouldn't say it's cubic zirconia quality.
No, but gold is still, excellent.
Yeah, Salt and
Exactly.
Cold is still a
Yes.
good reward, yeah.
And definitely great laughs, great plot. Yeah, it's
Cool.
a classic.
Beach?
I'm a little undecided. I'm currently sitting on a gold zirconia. I think I'm going to agree with Liz and go with gold.
Yep.
Because it is very quintessential Simpsons. It is highly quotable. It's probably one of the best structured stories. And it's, like I said, it's one of the rare ones that focuses on the side characters instead of the main cast. A few more jokes and that would have pushed it over the line for me. It's... I may change my mind when we go around, but I'm pretty sure I'll sit at a gold for this one. It's a tough call. It really is.
Well, we'll have a look at that when we get to the reconsideration round. Dave, what do you reckon?
I reckon.
It looks like he's about to interview Maple there, sorry.
I reckon. Damn it, Beej. As you were saying the things, I'm like, fuck, he just said what I was thinking. Fuck, he just said what I was thinking. Fuck. Fuck. All right, fuck.
Cyborg
I have
man.
to come up with something new. And I can't come up with something new, so it's gold. And
What he said.
what? Yeah. I'll have what he's having. Gold medal, thanks.
Yep. And we're all ordering gold from the restaurant this evening. Yeah. I'm giving it gold too. It's just, again, little light on jokes. Story is brilliant, fantastic, completely smart writing, but yeah, just a little light on the jokes, and it's going for a more sappier thing. It does it well, but it doesn't do it perfect.
Yep.
I think it does the sappy well. It's just, we think of some of the other ones we've given Cubic to, and they're like really rapid fire jokes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have enough time to take notes. Whereas this one,
it was nice pacing.
Yeah.
And it's a good story, but it's just shy of that perfection.
All right, and guys, that has been episode 33 of the Simpsons Index. Thank you very much for having us in the hot box tonight.
I hope you enjoyed your frozen head towels.
They've
did.
been a revelation.
Fellow Australians and anyone else living in a hotter climate, frozen head towels.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Frozen towel hats.
Frozen towel hats.
And shower beers.
Shower beers.
Don't forget the shower
You guys
beers.
haven't told the audience about shower beers.
Just an ice cold beer in a mildly warm shower. Just it does the body wonders.
You know how those Swedes go from like saunas, then jump out in the snow? It's like that at the same time.
Yeah. You'd think they'd be more efficient, but no, we nailed it.
Yeah. We beat you, Sweden. We beat you good.
Take that. All right, cool. And I've been your host, Elliot J. O'Neill, and I'm not tapping out. Thank you for checking out the Simpsons Index podcast. Don't forget to go to www.thesimpsonsindex.com for the spreadsheet and information about upcoming episodes.
And for today's extra content,
Have you been getting ready for a big date and think, geez, my lip is hairy? Well, what you need, gee, your lip looks hairless. The only thing that'll make your lip look completely hairless. Of course, it won't be, but that'll be our secret. Wink.
From the makers of Armpit Fluff Be Gone.
Chloris? That's a name?
Chloris.
It's Chloris.
I know, it sounds like a part of the genitals.
Chloris.
Ooh, my chloris is itching.
Yeah.
Get my chloris pierced.
Ooh. Careful, that can get infected.
You never directly pierce the chloris. You pierce the chloris hood.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's much safer.
AKA the leechman.
Take that, Chloris. Is she still alive? Can we mail her this?
She might be.
No.
No, she's dead. Oh.
She
When'd she
did.
go?
I was, a few years ago. Maybe 1 or 2 years ago. I
Aw.
can't remember when.
That's a shame.
We'll
Did
have to
someone
send it
tell
to
her she sounds like
estate.
genitals?
Cloris Leachman is alive.
Oh, what?
To Hollywood, I assume.
Yep. She's 90 and 91 in April.
Oh, well, there you go.
What's going to be
Sweet.
fun is if she's a bit deaf. It's like, your name sounds like genitals. What? Your name sounds like genitals. What? Chloris sounds like parts of female anatomy. Who's great? What?
You're great in Young Frankenstein. Oh, thank you. And
Here's
yeah,
my clitoris. This is my daughter, Clitoris Leechstein.